All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to CPL S6 Preseason. We're doing Week 2, Group 44 for today. My name is Flash for the Win. Alongside me today is going to be Cold Warpgates.
Hello.
All right. One second. Probably have to turn you up on the Discord just a little bit so you can hear your beautiful voice a little bit clearer.
Hello.
There we go. People in chat can always tell me if I need to raise or lower volumes for people. But anyways, we're going to be going to this group here. We got 5 players in this group. I don't know if you would call him Ninja OB or Ninjube. Ash Space, Shafir, Royal, and Allin. And going to the very first match, it will be Ninju versus Royo. Although, for whatever reason, Royal has a name by the name of Angela Merkel. Must be German, or a big fan of her, I suppose. But alright, we should get right into things. Merry Christmas, by the way, to all of our viewers. Happy holidays. Alrighty. Let's get right into the action. I probably should have an overlay over the the replay progress bar. Actually,
Probably.
I'll figure that out eventually.
Yeah, just hit Alt Y for now, and it'll go away.
Oh! Look at that.
Say pro tips.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've done replay casting. But anyways, as of course is tradition, every map for today we play on Eclipse for these preseason games. No map changes. All best of ones, and we'll get right into things. So, spawning up here at the top right-hand position on Eclipse as the pink Terran, it's going to be Ninju.
And in the bottom left is the green Protoss Royo, and/or the Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel.
You know, she does have a PhD in chemistry, so it would not surprise me if she was actually good at StarCraft.
Yeah, but if you had a PhD, you wouldn't play Protoss, right? You'd play like a smart race.
Ah, you're right. You're right. That is true. You know, it takes a very high IQ to play all the other races, whereas
PhD would be like Terran, I think.
Yeah. Although it's chemistry, so I feel like, you know, balancing out the different kind of you know, molecules, I think might be a Zerg thing, right? Because you have to balance out your larva and all that stuff. So yeah, who knows? But besides that, we're going to see pretty standard openers so far from both players. Looks like Ninjube is not going to be going for the One Racks Fast Expand. Interestingly enough, it has become a lot more popular these days, at least at the top levels, with the One Racks Fast Expands. Kind of taken over again from the old Factory Bunker. So, see if it plays out.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was like taking into account the fact that it's a 2-player map. It'd be a bit safer against aggression, but it's also like a really long rush distance, so I don't really know how the math works out on that one.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, you never know. He did check around his base, actually, at the very beginning. He did check around that kind of left-hand portion of his main, seeing if maybe this is like an in-base proxy gateway. So, probably a little bit scared of that, and decided to put the barracks in base. But anyways, in the meantime, nothing out of the ordinary so far as of yet. We will have to see Ninjube's gas timings here. He is pulling guys off gas, so it looks like it's going to be something fairly standard. We're going to see the factory being dropped down. And again, we will see if he drops the bunker down afterwards, or is he just going to go into something more like a FD build.
Yeah.
And a Roy over here. Ooh, could be a proxy robo.
Oh yeah, this probe is checking out this third base here.
Oh. We see the pylon. There it is.
Oh boy.
All right. Back at home, we do see that he is getting Goon Ring, so it's not going to be any kind of robo rush. You know, sometimes you'll see them get the +1 air upgrades and then cancel it later on. Interesting enough, Probe is leaving right now. I guess maybe he just puts the pylon there in case of a drop ship?
Yeah, it could be. Or it could be like the SCV is going to be counting pylons and not see one and then freak out and maybe like make too many turrets. And meanwhile, Protoss hasn't done anything at all.
Yeah, that is very good point from from you there. Although I do gotta say, people have been really trying to learn these starport builds for Terran, and getting those vulture drops early on, kind of disrupting the Protoss economy. So maybe Royo's had some bad experiences with that, and he just wants to get that pylon up there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it is a bunker expand though from Ninjube, and the first tank is going to be on the way right now. Yeah,
it doesn't look like Royo is going to go too hard on the bunker harass. Just keep this one goon out here to make sure nothing leaves the Terran base without him knowing about it.
Yep. And definitely might be freaking out a little bit, but because he only sees
his probe,
yeah, the probe too. But Ninjube, it'd be interesting to think of what he's seeing right now and what he thinks about the situation. He, as you said, hiding that pylon could put Terran off. Will we see a really early, engineering bay? How many turrets is he going to build? It looks like he hasn't panicked just yet. Just, throwing down a pretty standard academy timing here. We'll see if he doubles down on the detection and gets an engineering bay as well. But normally, you do want to just get one or the other. You don't want to get both, because that is quite a bit of early money that you are investing into defenses.
Exactly. So it looks like Ninjube is taking this very calmly, not falling for any trick with that pylon. Going into a second factory pretty early, maybe going to see some early aggressive pushes here.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that is happening. This is one of the things that Flash used to do a lot back in the day, was he would get that early expansion, get those 4 to 5 tanks, and then just reinforce with non-stop vultures coming out. Although, I think if Ninjube is going to try to go for that early 2-base timing, or 2-factory time, I should say, he should start making more Marines just for that kind of body blocking and soaking up Dragoon shots for those tanks.
And I don't know how much I'd like that kind of idea on this map, just because of all the high grounds that the goons could kite on.
Well, he is making Marines.
So it's pretty risky, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, he also does have that early academy, and I know that sometimes, at least this was back in, the 2008, 2009 era, when people would do this 2-factory, they would get that early academy and then make like a medic or 2, just so that the Marines can last just that much longer. Very interesting to see if that's going to happen. But he's going to push out here with this army, and as you said, it is a little bit tricky on this map to push across these ridges, but for whatever reason, Royo has pulled his goons all the way back to his base, so he's not going to be able to see this push when it comes out.
Yeah, he's going to have no idea it's coming. He's going to give up all this time and ground he could have been using to poke at the push. It's going to be a little scary. He does have 3 gateways, but they're only just now getting online, and it's going to be real tight given this goon count.
Yep, his observer is going to see the army pushing across the map. It's not too much, like I said, normally you would see probably like 5 to 6 Marines with this push, but mines are done at this moment, so we're going to see the mines being laid right now, and we're going to see how well the micro is going to be from both these players.
Decent job sniping these mines. Doing a good job of being very careful, not diving in like I would be doing right now. So some mines do get up, but there is an observer here. One who got how did that go all the way back there? So it looks like Royo should hold this off. He's done a good job dodging the mines. Going to take out these tanks.
Yep, very nicely done. Did not lose too many goons there, but I mean, it doesn't really matter how many goons you lose as long as you smash that first push.
Exactly.
And at the same time, he has started up that 3rd Nexus, so very, very good right now for him. He's going to be in a really good economic position. Didn't lose any probes there at all, and if I'm Royal in this position, I'm feeling very confident.
Yeah, I really liked how calm it seemed like Royo was during that hold. He didn't dive on the tanks and run into mines. He did a very good job hiding back and sniping the mines and keeping control of the situation the whole time. So that was really, really well done.
Well, sure, we'll get in here. We'll see that 3rd base timing. We'll manage to pick off one of these probes, but unfortunately, he's going to see his 3rd base and be a little bit upset right now that his push did not really do too much, because normally you're trying to punish the Protoss who's getting this early 3rd base, and the fact that his attack got crushed, didn't even manage to do any kind of economic damage, is a really telling sign for him right now. So he's trying to come back in this game by getting a 3rd command center of his own at the moment. Scans going down right now. It looks like scanning for carriers. One of the scans going above the main gas there, but nothing there for him to see.
Are carriers good on this map? I wouldn't really think this is a carrier map.
No, I don't think so. There are ridges in the middle that you could try to abuse, but the problem is that because the ramps are just so large, it doesn't really work as well.
Yeah, that was my thought. I don't think it's a terrible carrier map, but I wouldn't really call it. I wouldn't look at this and be like, oh yeah, build carriers on this map.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, the third base is about to finish now here for Ninjube. He's going to go ahead and lift that over. And in the meantime, he is now, excuse me, adding on those factories. We'll see if he's going to look for a timing attack, but I don't think so. Probably getting this third base secured is the most important thing for him right now. And getting into that 2-1 timing is going to be his plan. And it's going to be really funny to see that pylon over there is going to manage to see this third base. So, you know, free observer, basically.
I wonder how, like, I would, you know, it's not impossible that the Terran could just never really notice that he'd be there for a long time.
It definitely could. I mean, SCVs are the only thing that's going to be mining up there. I really doubt he's going to put a tank or a vulture up there to kill off the pylon.
So we had this group of goons like out on the map a little bit. I don't know if there's a misclick or if they're going to maybe try to poke at the third. So I'm curious about this placement.
A little bit weird, definitely. Kind of just, you know, tucked in there, a little area. But, you know, goons are dumb. Who knows what they're doing? Maybe they're just ignoring the commands of their controller.
So we have Superman in the chat asking if we know the tier/rank of these players. So this is preseason, so players aren't formally placed yet. But these are some of the higher tier players in the preseason, so they don't have like a strict placement yet, but these are going to be they're going to end up being tier 0 or tier 1. Yeah, most likely.
I will say, based upon how Royo, you know, held off that attack and his Dragoon control, I definitely think that it is going to be a tier 0 matchup here, and I think that most of these players will be ending up in the tier 0 at the end of the season, or by the beginning of the season, I should say.
Yeah, I know one of the other players in this group, and he was like a strong tier 1 last time, so it wouldn't surprise me to know he's a tier 0 now.
Yep. And we're seeing the second army coming down now for Ninjube. He's going to go into that, like I said, 2-1 timing. He is quite behind in workers, although that's kind of expected in this matchup, especially when Puros kind of got away with no damage there at the third base. And I've got to say that, you know, Royo has been really on top of making his pros, but I think he should stop soon, right? Because normally...
Yeah. I think 75 is like the most that you want, really.
Yeah, now he's going up
like a high number. Yeah.
So,
but it's not really the worst problem to have.
Yep. Although his army will be quite small for that initial timing push that Ninjube is going to come out. So he's got to be a little bit careful with how many probes he's going to make. He is starting to make more, and you know, once you start dipping into that 80 area, it's like your army's going to be really, really small. And especially the fact that, you know, there's not many places to make gateways on this map. It's not like he can use that insane economy that he's going to have to remax his army incredibly quickly. Although he is finding some space here. Yeah,
he's doing a good job fucking all these gateways in here. It looks so much better than my bases, where it's just like random, scattered everywhere. Like, like three gateways here, 4 gateways there. It's such a mess.
Yep, definitely. People got to study up on their Harangue 2 gateway placements.
Yeah,
Harangue 2, very well known for his beautifully placed gateways. Probably practices that a lot, actually, to make sure that he knows exactly how many to place and where to place them.
Well, we're up to 85 probes now. That's too many.
Yeah, that's definitely a little too many. But, you know, hey, he wants a really strong economy. I don't think he's making any more probes, luckily, for now. But I'm glad that he has stopped for the meantime. Really good at making those probes, though, I should say. I will say, Ninjube has actually, I think, forgotten to get that +1 plating upgrade there for his mech units. So his +2 is already halfway done. Hasn't started the upgrade on that second armory yet. So a little bit of a mistake here from Ninjube.
Yeah, those upgrades matter a lot. Like, Terran scales so well with upgrades.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta be a little careful to not forget them. But, oh well, you know, he's gonna go into the attack with a 2-0 attack, I suppose.
Ninjube doing a good job covering the map with these mines, making sure there's no hidden bases, making sure the army can't sneak up on him. Small things like that add up so much for Terran. Oh, he's trying to get a little attack here on these probes. There are 3 cannons here, should be enough to kill these vultures eventually, but the probes are just going to go down anyway because vultures are dumb.
Yep, 2-shotting these probes, really strong. But you know what? If I'm Royal in this position, I'm happy. He brought my probe down to where it should be. Now, I mean,
exactly.
he immediately queues up 5 probes there at the first base, so he's gonna go back up to that 85 probe count once again. But you know, for a little bit moment there, he did have a proper probe count, I gotta say.
Exactly. Man, that's ridiculous. Those vultures killed 12 probes. Like, it's not gonna like end this game, but that's, as a Protoss player, I'm very upset. You could have 4 cannons there, and the vultures still kill 12 probes.
Yeah, vultures are good units.
Good unit.
Yep. We do see the turrets now coming down all over the map for Ninju. Wants to protect himself from that recall, but fortunately for him, Royal has actually gone for the stasis upgrade first, I believe.
Yeah, I think I saw that happening.
And does have some high Templar with his army. I'm not sure if Storm was researched. I didn't quite catch if it had finished or not. We'll assume that it has finished right now, so he will have a couple of Storms here with this army for this next big attack that's going to happen here. And with the tank count being this high, I definitely think these Storms will do quite a bit of damage to his Terran army. He is going to look to push out here with the +2. He's not quite maxed out though, so I'm not quite sure if this is the best timing for him. Might just want to wait for 3-1 upgrade.
Yeah, this could be a little bit scary for the Terran player. He's going to have to pull off this engagement really well, but we've seen some really good army and unit control from Rayo so far.
Yep. Goons over here trying to clear some mines, maybe set up a flank attack of some sort. Now Terran's just going to pull back. I suppose he just want a little bit of map control there. Again, forgetting the second upgrade. He's getting that +1 plating upgrade now, but forgetting the +3. So, you know, definitely something to look for when he improves is make sure he's just got those upgrades going at the same time. But now he is maxed out. He is going to start his push across the map.
Yeah, Rayo does know about it thanks to these excellent observer placements. Is he going to be able to get his army in place in time? It looks like he's doing a good job.
Oh, EMP missed! The EMP missed on the Arbiter. Will stasis that science vessel. Now, this is not the greatest stasis because it is kind of in the front. The Zealots will get caught up on those stasis units. So yeah, he's just going to pull back here, buy some more time, probably set up some more gateways, get those upgrades. He is waiting on that 2-1 upgrade for himself, ironically. The Protoss is going to get that 2-1 upgrade and not the Terran player here. But yeah, recall is also halfway done. So maybe we can see if he can stall this attack long enough, maybe get a counterattack recall in. But here we go. The push is going to come in here.
Here we go. Zealots getting caught up on the mines, but now they're getting on the tanks on the left side here, and there's not much on the right side. Looks like Protoss is a decent arc. Nice storms on these tanks.
Really decent arc. Good,
big stasis too.
But there's so many tanks
his own arbiter. Yeah.
He's got to pull back here. I think this is the time where you want to pull back.
Nice wave of Zealots. Oh, okay. He decides to run back.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think now's the time to pull back, remax your army. You're closer to home.
Indecision. Now he's going back in.
Oh,
losing a lot of units.
Not the best storm there either. He's a little bit hesitant right now on whether or not he wants to go in. And I think that had he committed to one or the other, I think it would have turned out a lot. But, you know, dancing your goons back and forth inside tank range is definitely not the right play to go for there. He's got to make a critical decision here. And now that these tanks, they do have that +1 plating upgrade. This 3-2's not on the way either. But we will see these tanks start to slowly crawl themselves up here with these vultures that are reinforcing the army coming through. And Protoss is going to... I like what he's done here. He's got a couple gateways here at the 4th base. He's positioned a little bit of his army up top, so he can try to go for a big flank attack here when he's remaxed.
Yeah, Rayo's having some troubles with gateways. There's some gateways that have like 4 units queued and some that have none, and there's like 2 goons killing a gateway. So it looks like Rayo's having a real hard time rebuilding after that attack. And meanwhile, this Terran army is already threatening his 3rd base here.
Yeah, he is going to go for a
counterattack. But smart, because at this point, you just can't fight that army, so he wants to get something else done.
Yeah, he's just got to wait until he can remax his army right now. He's just waiting. A couple of these tanks are getting caught on these Zealots here, so this is a little bit nice pickup here for Royo. And he's also trying to draw attention away from the main attack with that 4th counterattack right there. And he might even be able to pick off that command center with just those 3 goons and the Arbiter. Now he is going to have to face a lot of pressure here from these tanks and vultures coming up to that 4th base. And he is still waiting for that timing where he can go in and really get through those Terran units.
Yeah, it seems like the Terran's push is getting a little bit spread out. Royo could get some good picks here if he marches in with this army that's queuing up at his net.
Here we go.
Looks like that attack did kill the 4th command center too.
Yep, the tanks are quite spread out right now. Good D-Matrix there on that 4th tank, but there's so many Zealots coming through right now. Not enough Vultures really to reinforce this army. I think that this attack will finally get cleaned up here, and if he can manage to hold on, not lose too many more units, so he can survive another push here from the Terran, he's going to be in a fantastic position. Didn't really lose any bases, didn't lose many probes, and managed to even pick off the 4th command center. Again, a really nice hold here from Royal.
Yeah, really nice hold. It looked real dire after he lost that first engagement, but his superior economy and that backstab really helped him out.
Yep, still quite a bit of units here from Ninjube, and as a matter of fact, you know, those units that were going up there to that 4th base to try to defend that command center are now going to be rallied over here, and this is a lot of units. I think that potentially Royal is going to pull back. Great storm though. But there's too many vultures here to deal with all those zealots. He's got to wait for more reinforcements. Maybe he wants to make a little bit more dragoons here for his army. Good stasis there onto that science vessel, though.
So yeah, the push is not over yet, but it's getting smaller and smaller here for a Ninjube with each wave.
Yep. And the longer, this attack keeps going on for it without making much progress, the more beneficial it is to Royo. Terran is starting to mine out of his bases. I see that Natural is probably going to mine out in the next minute and a half, 2 minutes or so. This attack has to get something done. He is trying to secure the 4th base down there at the bottom right-hand position. He's got the command center made. SCVs are transferring over there. But without killing any of the probes, without killing the Nexus, this attack is going to start dwindling down without an economy to support it.
See, I think it's worth mentioning that the Protoss is only on 2 mining bases right now. The main and Natural are mined out, so the economy isn't that great anymore for the Protoss either. It's going to make each of these unit losses hurt a little bit more. All right, he's going in for another attempt here. There is an Arbiter with energy for stasis.
Yeah, he's got a stasis. Gets both the vessels. That's not bad, but Scan will come down. There are so many tanks here to the right-hand side, though, right behind the little pawn, and is offering so much protection that the goons and the zealots really can't get on top of them. A couple of cloaked zealots, though, are on top, actually, of those tanks, so some of these tanks will manage to get picked off, but the reinforcing zealots, or vultures here, are going to be able to protect the rest of these tanks, and Terran is starting to make a little bit of progress without Protoss managing to secure another base, and in fact, 3 tanks over here will also pick off the 5th base here from Royo.
I don't think I like these stasis on the vessels.
Oh, Storm!
Like,
oh no!
Stasis!
No! No!
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, but the zealots will get on top of the tanks.
There we go.
Finally.
There we go. Okay, so for now, Protoss lives another day, but there's yet another wave of vultures and tanks headed in here. I was saying, I think these stasis on like just the vessel, or like the vessel and 2 vultures, just aren't paying off enough. I think like stasis on these like 5 to the 4 tanks and a Goliath is way more impactful. Ideally not right after you storm them, but we'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, managed to also pick off that 3rd base Nexus as well, and I think that Ninjube has done it. I think that this push has managed to secure himself enough an advantage here to win this game. It's certainly looking like he is in a very strong position here. Another good storm there, this time not stasising those tanks. Oh, only 1 tank gets picked off. The last 2 are in red, and unfortunately, tanks at low health are still siege tanks at the end of the day.
They still do 80 damage a shot here.
Yeah, so it is looking not so good for our Protoss player here, and the tanks finally are at 2-2 with +3 is about to finish as well. So these tanks are about to hit that critical peak where they're just, absolute monsters, just landing nukes for their arc light cannons. And yeah, Protoss is running out of steam here. No extra bases right now. He's trying to set up another base at the top left-hand side, but that's not even set up yet. He's trying to clear out some of these mines over here to attack and do another counterattack here onto the Terran 4th base. But at the same time, he's losing all these bases on the right-hand side of the map.
Yeah, I think it's just this small force looks like it'll get cleaned up here. Decent stasis. Maybe Protoss will win this fight, but they're gonna just have no income and they're gonna burn through their bank real fast.
Yeah, I mean, we did see him at like 3k early on, and now you can see that he is almost broke. Like, he's got only 500 minerals or so right now, and the Terran is still just sieging every single one of these bases at the moment. And he has seen the top left-hand base as well. He's probably going to send just a couple tanks, couple vultures up there to clean that one up. And yeah, he might lose this bottom right-hand base here, but at the same time, now he's already establishing himself that 12 o'clock base once again.
Nice storm on the SUVs. Yeah, it seems like the windows for Royo to get back in this game are just getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, he is fighting well, though, I gotta say. I would have GG'd out at this point of the game, been too frustrated. But he is winning some of these smaller engagements, doing a really good job. He knows how to counterattack with Protoss, which is always, something important to learn. But unfortunately for him, these counterattacks can only do so much at the end of the day because all those SCVs at the bottom right have transferred up back to that 12 o'clock base that's been reestablished, and now he's even going to lose this this top left-hand base. And the last of his probes got killed off finally. He's now down to 26 workers without any mining bases out on the map, and he's just got no money to remake his army.
Yeah, I think we're about to see the end here. Although, one more time, this base is going to get shut down. So it's just getting so much value out of the small group of units.
Yeah, doing a really good job here of, you know, managing to pick off these bases, stop Terran from really getting too comfortable. Terran still has to try to close out this game, but you know the army that Terran has out on the map right now is just going to start rolling over to that natural base of the Protoss, and there's not much left to be said here. I think once this force comes crashing down onto the Protoss army, we're going to see the end here. Some storms, the High Templar are trying to get some value here, but Terran's just going to regroup his army one last time and then do the final crushing blow, I believe.
Yeah, I can't see Protoss winning when they're at half supply. We're in that kind of fight.
Yeah, I mean he's got to observe it here with 2 goons to clear out every single one of these spider mines, unless he wants to use Storm to clear out the mines, which I don't think it's a good use of your energy there.
Sadly not.
Yep, the last army on the map.
Yeah. Goons are cleaned up. The base is secured.
And there's the GG. So Ninjube is going to go ahead and take game number 1 here. We'll go up 1-0. And I gotta go change now the names. Give me a moment here while I load up the next replay and then change the names of our players.
Yeah, that was a really good game. Both players like having a really good grasp of like the fundamentals of StarCraft. Both players having like so much commitment to not leaving the game when it looked bad. It seemed like Rayo kind of struggled with that first big engagement when Terran moved out like 170 supply, and it just couldn't quite get organized enough to uproot the Terran siege from that area between the 3rd and the 4th. And it just got too much value with all those tanks just constantly pounding on everything.
Yep, a little bit unfortunate there. You know, I think the critical mistake there was when he kind of hesitated inside of tank range and then kind of went back and forth and ended up losing quite a bit of his units. I think that once he's able to figure out, you know, when to go in, when to pull back, and commit to those decisions, he's going to be scary. I mean, he held off that initial push super well, so he's really good with his unit control already. But alright, let's jump here into game number 2. It's going to be Ninju once again, and this time we're going to have Ash Space coming in here to see if he can take down the Terran Beast. Alright. It's going to be, looks like another PVT on a cliff, spawning up here at the top right-hand side as the Black Protoss. It's going to be Ash Space.
And in the bottom left, the pink Terran winning the last game. It's Ninjube.
Definitely likes that pink color, gotta say. Pink is a good color in StarCraft.
Yeah, it definitely stands out really well.
Yeah,
You're never going to lose your units.
Nope.
Against the backdrop.
Yeah, very vibrant. Black, one of the more interesting colors. Something that you never really saw before remastered. Actually, I think black was only there if there was like more than 8 players. I want to say you had those like weird...
I think it was like only on like the Broodwar tile sets, something like that. Like there's some weird rule set for the colors, but now you can just pick whatever you want.
Yeah, it was like one of those glitch colors, I think.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing maps like that back in like 2002.
Black is a cool color though. Just a little interesting because I can't really see. You can't see like the Nexus spots that show the black of it. It looks more like a shadow more than anything.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Ninjube is going possibly for that in-base barracks again. Oh, am I about to be proved wrong? Is he about to put it at the ramp?
No, blocking. Oh, I guess he suspects that there might be a gas still here trying to go from the Protoss player.
Yeah.
He's got the SU position right there on the ramp, making sure that the probe can't really get up there just yet.
So it turns out I was right in the end. We do see these barracks in the main again. So Ninjube just opting to play it safe again. And I think if you're that good at the late game, it's completely reasonable to make these small sacrifices in the early game just to be safe and make sure you actually get to the late game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to get into that macro game and really just show how well you can control your army and roll over your Protoss opponents. That's usually what good Terrans at least will do. I unfortunately suck at armor control, so that's usually not what I do. I just 10-10-10 every game and try to kill Protoss as fast as possible.
Here you go.
A little bit interesting actually to see here these early scouts from both these players. You know, usually on a 2-player map, at least for me, I always think, you want to scout a little bit later than normal because you know exactly where your opponent's going to be. Obviously, you want to get in before the first Marine pops out, before the first Dragoon pops out, but you can get that little bit extra economy there with the initial scout off and protect a little bit of those minerals and get some more of that.
Yeah, and the probe here from space, it still wasn't early enough to like really get a gas steal. So, just a small little timing thing that could be tweaked.
Yeah. You will see, though, that there is one guy left in gas right now with the factory started up, so that is obviously the most important thing to scout out for Protoss, and then now the probe will get taken down here. No! Probes are so fast!
So speedy.
Most OP worker in the game, by the way. Yes, I said that right. Not SCVs with their 60 HP. Probes are the most broken. At least that's what Artosis tells me.
I don't know. Drones turned into Sunken, so that's pretty strong.
All right. Well, we're gonna see no third pylon out on the map this time. The pylon will be placed off to the side here. Kind of interesting placement. Could see that being used for Stargate tech maybe later on, or some kind of Citadel Templar Archives tech there to hide it from scans.
Yeah, we'll see. It could also just be to get vision of the base. I try to not put all my pylons right by the mineral line, so I can actually build buildings later.
That is true.
It's pretty handy.
Early game Protoss definitely wants to make sure that every pylon they have is being used for something. This SCV, being full health, will manage to sneak back in here. Oh, the second Dragoon does not manage to block off the ramp. The SCV will get back in here. Won't really see too much information. I mean, he did see the Nexus go down, so, any good Terran player will see the Nexus go down and say, okay, this is a very standard Protoss game.
Exactly.
The first take coming out here. No upgrades just yet from Ninjube, not revealing to us yet the path that he's going to take. Will it be siege mode, mines? But so far, same build from last game from him is going to go right into that academy. And we'll see if he does end up throwing down that second factory as well to put on a little bit of pressure.
These goons here are going to get here and poke at the bunker as soon as that range finishes in a few seconds, but there's a tank just in time. Won't be too much damage there. Don't see a second factory yet. Okay, so there was an academy before the second factory last game. We'll see if he follows that.
Well, the SCV is coming up here, and there's the second factory.
Alright, going with the same build. See if Space can be quite as calm and collected as about it as our last Protoss. Is Space about to put a pylon up here too? This is a...
Are these Protoss players collaborating together or something?
Yeah. What are they practicing?
What is going on here? They're all doing the same exact thing. We'll see if he pulls the Dragoons back. That'll be even more weird if he pulls the Dragoons back. Doesn't have that many because he went for such an early Nexus timing, obviously, and he's still got some Dragoons back at home to, I guess he's scared of a Vulture run by of some sort. But I definitely want to see these goons move out across the map just so they can put pressure on this push when it comes out.
Yeah, I do think that, like you were saying that drop builds are getting more popular, and if you can't confirm that it's not drop, you do want at least some units at home just so you don't automatically die.
Well, making that third Marine like last time. He is also only committing to these 3 Marines. Kind of interesting. I guess he wants to keep the minerals for other uses, but to me, if you're going to go for this early push, you might as well make just a couple extra Marines. Like, I would say make 2 more. That's only 100 minerals. I don't think it's too much of an economic loss here for the tank.
Yeah.
But here we go. Here comes the push.
Oh, all right. Let's see what Space's reaction is. Being a bit late to pull back these goons. He loses the goon. That's going to hurt so much. You need every goon right now.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, these Marines, like each Marine takes 4 hits to be killed by a goon, and each tank takes 8. So like a Marine is like half a tank worth of HP in this kind of push. So just having a couple makes so much difference.
Man, he gave up all the high ground here, not moving any of the goons back, but he is getting a good concave here. This
Very
open
nice
ground here is going to be the best position for him to take a fight, and we're going to see how well the mine laying he is here for Ninjube. He is putting mines there on the left side and moving his tanks to the right, so he is going to try to narrow that choke down a little bit, but these goons are going to have to start trying to jump on top of these tanks before they can get into a good position here. Oh man, if he gets trapped here behind the pylons, ooh, it's going to be close. Oh, he's going to pull back now. He's actually going to keep all 3 of these tanks this time. Oh, maybe the goons can actually run them down. We'll see if he's going to chase them. Nope, he's just going to pull back.
So yeah, kind of more even, right? Like both players didn't really lose anything too major. Yeah.
Yeah, I think lost, total like 2, maybe third goon. I can't remember exactly. But keeping these 3 tanks alive, obviously the most important part for the Terran here at this stage of the game. And like we said from last time, the third bases are both going down roughly the same time here. The third Nexus on site, obviously, because unlike Terran, they can't lift their next eye out.
Exactly. This is a much faster Arbiter tech, though, isn't it? I think Ryo had 3 gateways earlier and got this this tech later. And this is like still a very comfortably quick third. So Protoss' like eco and tech are in a really good shape.
Yeah, it definitely is a much faster Arbiter tech compared to last game, so we're going to see how well he uses it. Probably with this early of an Arbiter tech, I do think that he might want to go for the recall first and try to put some pressure onto the Terran, prevent them from really moving out, maybe even recall into that third base and stop him from securing more economy.
So you might find to see some more divergence in this game from the last. And I think these factories are going up earlier too. Do we even see an armory yet?
Yeah,
no,
armory is a +1, is about almost 2/3 of the way done now.
Where is it?
Yeah, it's
oh, here it is, hiding in the corner.
Hiding in the corner. No, that's good. That you see that if the observers came and find it, then how is the other player going to find it?
Exactly.
But we do see the Starport coming down right now. He's going to be getting himself into those upgrades, and we'll see this time if he does not forget those upgrades. Definitely something that was a little bit frustrating to see last time, although I guess it didn't matter too much, and still managed to crush with that push.
All right, so we don't have a pylon to scout this command center, but we do have a probe here. So same idea. So one thing I didn't notice earlier, this observer. I don't think the observer has even tried to go into the main of Terran, has it? So that's going to be a little scary. Maybe he can sort of like mind read by like the amount of tanks and by seeing the third and probably figure out what's going on. But you really want to get that observer in the Terran base, sometime around like 7 minutes or 7 minutes and 30 seconds, because that's when so many Terran builds kind of diverge. So unless Space is really confident in how he can read these units at the front, he's going to be playing in the dark for a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, there are also no turrets up, and I don't even think Ninjube in either game has made an engineering bay, as a matter of fact.
I think he made one in like 10 minutes in the last game, like just to stop like the recalls in the late game.
Yeah, so there's no turrets up here. You definitely should try to get that observer in and just see the timings of everything. But I suppose in the meantime, he doesn't have to worry too much yet. The +2 is not on the way yet. The science facility just finished, so a little bit behind there on that timing. Wasn't the crispiest timing there for when the science facility finishes, right when +1 finishes to start the 2-1. But regardless, he is getting that +2 attack upgrade. Let's hope he doesn't forget +1 plating this time around.
Yeah.
And as you said before, 10-minute engineering bay. There it is, starting at the third base.
Ninjube knows how he likes to play this matchup. So we're seeing an Arbiter almost done. Did we see something get researched at the Tribunal? We heard that we don't have any ability.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet, but based on how fast, the only thing it could be would be Stasis, because Stasis is such a fast upgrade, and it finishes even faster than an Arbiter comes out. So that's the only one that I can think about. But he is investing a lot of gas here into Storms, the High Templar. This is actually, I think, the new tradition. There's recall now just getting started for the Protoss player. But I gotta also mention one thing is that I don't know if it's new meta, because obviously I haven't played in quite a bit, but Protoss is now getting so much gas. They're using a lot of it on these High Templar and the Storm.
Yeah, I know. I was watching Tim play last night, and he was just like not getting Arbiters. He was just getting like really early Storm and going for lots of like early caveman attacks on the Terran attack. Yeah, exactly. Maximum gateway man.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. It's very interesting to see how the adaptation continues to happen here. Obviously, Terrans these days are getting a lot better at keeping their army composition much more even, and especially with how many tanks that they roll out with that initial push. Obviously, Storms do much better against these larger Terran armies than those clumped up tanks. So that could be the adaptation that Protoss is making, and I'm very excited to see how that first push is going to go, and definitely want to see the storming of from space here.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. So space not expanding super fast. Not like worryingly slow, but you can expand like a little bit faster than this, especially given sort of how passive Ninjube has been after that first two-fact push.
Yeah, and you know, obviously Terran, when they don't get too much done with that initial push, they definitely tend to play a lot more passively afterwards, just because, you know, they're like, okay, my initial early aggression didn't work out, I don't want to do another kind of 4-factory push after that as well. So definitely could expand a little bit faster, although, you know, the Terran here has got a nice laying of mines at the bottom right bases. They got a couple vultures out there to catch a probe if it decides to move out. But here comes that recall with the Arbiter. Arbiter is just about to have that 150 energy.
Oh, here we go. So it looks like there's no turrets in the natural or main here, and there's a big blank spot where there's no mines in the main mineral line. So this recall could go off without a hitch here.
Yep, Barracks is being lifted over there. We'll see the Arbiter when it comes through, but it's going to be quite scary here for the Terran. No mines. You know, he is about to move out because the 2-1 is going to finish right now. EMP is not even done yet either, so this is going to be a little bit scary here for Terran.
Oh, the Arbiter turns around.
Oh, Arbiter is trying to find a little bit
of a safe line in there, but I think this entire corner of the map is covered in Terran units.
Oh, and now he sees it.
He's flying right over a mine.
Yeah, he does see the Arbiter now. Well, we do see behind this, he is going to try to expand now to that bottom right-hand base, and Arbiter's still not moving yet. He's just biding his time. I guess this Arbiter might just be here to wait for when the army pushes out and try to go for some kind of like a backstab recall.
Yeah, I mean, and he's still putting pressure on Terran. I mean, Terran's not going to be moving out when he sees this Arbiter right here, right? So still buying himself time to expand these two corner bases here and build up.
Yes, sir. Scan going now. We'll see the 5th base coming up here for Protoss. And, you know, he does have EMP done. He has about, I would say 7 more seconds before that vessel gets enough energy. He sees the Arbiter still, so we'll see if he just walks over there, EMPs the Arbiter, and walks across the map. That would be very detrimental here for Protoss. I mean, he won't have that threat of a backstab anymore. He is starting to put down a couple more turrets here just so that the Arbiter really can't get in here for free. Oh, here we go. Is the vessel going to move? What's he doing with this vessel?
Yeah, it's like looking around for observers or something.
Oh man, this is a very tense moment here, but it looks like he's gonna move out. Maybe he wants to keep the vessel energy for just the first fight, but I don't know. I think I would rather just EMP this Arbiter, make sure that you feel really confident at home, or at least lay some spider mines back down. He's got a couple spider mines, but maybe not the most. I know that at least the pros would have a lot more mines there at this point.
Yeah, this is very confident from Ninjube. Absolutely not worried about that recall at all. Just those 6 turrets in the natural. All right, here we go. The army moves out. The Arbiter is going somewhere. Is he going to stasis now?
I don't know. He's moving right across the Goliath. He is trying to sneak past here. Will the EMP be there in time? No, I think the recall is going to happen. There's the recall.
Oh, the mines though, and he called in two more Arbiters.
And all get EMP'd. Oh, I see what he's trying to do. He was trying to stasis because you see the Zealots on hold position there at the ramp. Oh man, that's unfortunate. The EMP was right in time, and even in a High Templar gets in there that got EMP'd as well. So this recall is absolutely not going to do much damage at all. I mean, even losing a couple SCVs here doesn't really matter to the Terran player. He's just going to move across the map right after this. So we need to see that macro coming down here. The gateways are not building anything. He's got to go back home and start building that army. He needs that max out supply again right before Terran can reach his base.
Yeah, this is scary for space now, and he doesn't have those like 85 probes that we had in the last game. He's only up at 59, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him to continuously reinforce after these kind of huge fights.
Yep, and now Terran is going to start slowly moving across the map, although he's running into a little bit of a Jaedong issue right here, with his whole army kind of stuck at the ramp right now. His army's slowly getting down there. His couple of Zealots are moving in here. He's going to attack the 3rd base. I'm not quite sure about this. He knows that the Terran army is really close back at home.
Yeah, I feel like he committed too much. He should just had like a few Zealots run up the ramp and then get out of the rest of his army. He's losing a lot of his army for not much value here.
With full energy.
No. And now this Terran army has been drawn up close to these 2 relatively undefended bases. Although it looks like they're just going to go right down the middle of the map anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has anything to be afraid of right now. He just wants to move right across. He's killed off so much of the Protoss army there. Bad recall, and then that attack there on the 3rd base definitely did not go as planned here for space. And God, it's gonna be so hard to hold this off. His army is just so far behind in terms of supply.
The Arbiter gets picked off by Goliath before he can do anything, but we do see some juicy storms all over this Terran army.
Over tanks, yes, but it's not gonna be enough. You know,
yeah, it's just not enough.
Oh man, it's rough. It's rough for Protoss right now, and Terran with the 3-2 upgrades this time. Ninjube on top of his upgrades, he's gonna roll right over this Terran army. Oh, the Spider Mine's going right on top of these goons. A puddle of blue goo right there, and oh man, these tanks not even sieging up. He's too confident, just mowing down these dragoons.
Oh yeah, dude, that feels so bad when you're Protoss and you get killed by an army of unsieged tanks. It's like, wow, he knows he's gonna just destroy me.
Yep. Now the reinforcing vultures coming in here to provide a little bit of tanking for the siege tank. The goons are getting melted right now, and yeah, I don't think it's gonna be enough for Protoss to hold on. He's gonna end up losing probably the 3rd and the 4th base, just like last time when these tanks get in this position right here, right next to this pond, I would say, where there's the little bit of impassable terrain. It's so hard for Protoss to ever really move out across the map after that. I don't know. It's just too hard to get past those tanks.
Yeah, you control. They threaten like 3 bases here from this one little spot. Control like all the routes through the map.
Yep.
Space trying to rally units out here, but there's just not enough. He's just gonna keep bleeding them with each wave.
Yep. Terran, in the meantime, is gonna get that 4th command center up over at the over and lift it up to the 9 o'clock base. And now he's just gonna move some tanks, some vultures over to these other bases to just secure them, pick them off. And then return back to his original outpost. Good mind control here as well for Ninjube. These zealots are going to come in here and get instantly melted, and then the dragoons are going to try to sadly walk in here and get turned into glue. It's like putting horses into the glue factory.
Yeah.
Man.
3rd base for Protoss is being shelled down. There's basically no standing army. It's just respawning every time. It's looking pretty dire here.
Yeah, this 3rd Nexus will go down. All those probes will be lost, and more Zealots coming in here. But man, these Spider Mines are perfectly positioned here for Ninjube. I mean, I've got to give credit to Ninjube here. Finally, good stasis, but it's a little too late. Ninjube has done a phenomenal job with his army control, and his attacks have been super solid. Obviously, the initial 2 factory maybe not really there to do that much damage. More so pressure the Protoss to see if he makes a mistake. But his late game army control is just fantastic.
Definitely. And it wins him his 2nd game.
There we go. That's going to be game number 2 going to Ninjube. 2-0 in this group so far. All right. We're going to game number 3. It's going to be Ninjube versus All-In. Terran versus Zerg this time, so we'll have to see how good his biocontrol is. Or will he go for mech?
Let's see. Is mech good on this map?
I don't think so.
Well, there you go.
I mean, tanks are decent on this map, but I don't know. The alleyways are a lot bigger, especially where Terran wants to push into. It's quite open, and Zerg can definitely get some good flanks off. But anyways.
Well, yeah.
We're gonna be
looks like you might still be on the
I am.
overlay. There you go. All right.
There we go. Luckily, didn't miss anything yet. Just kidding. Imagine if all I got for 4 pool there. And we're just watching leagues running across the map.
Yeah.
But anyways, green Zerg up here at the top right-hand position is gonna be all in.
And in the bottom right, once again, as the pink Terran, it's Ninjube, winning the first 2 games of this group.
Gotta love the pink Terran. It'd be really funny to see if every person in CPL kind of had like their own color, and then people would be arguing like what color they want to pick.
Yeah, like 2 pink players play each other.
Yeah, it could turn into like a grudge match of some sort, because I know that back in Super Smash Brothers Melee, there were these 2 Fox players, Chillin' Dude and Leffen, who tried to use the same Fox color. So they decided to have a grudge match at the Salty Suite to see who would keep their color.
Yes.
And then the very famous Leffen 5-0 happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess he earned that color.
Yes, sir. I mean, Leffen is an incredible player, and Chillin is kind of washed up. But it was still really funny because after the match, they asked Chillin what he had to say, and Chillin was like, "Mabi." It was just perfect response. Oh man. But anyways, getting into this game, looks like 12 hatchery going to be from All In here. and the SCV is moving across the map to go ahead and scout. So Ninju will be able to go for that 15 command center right after the barracks finishes.
Yeah, like Terran feels so comfortable when they get to pull that off.
Oh yeah.
Don't have to worry about a 9 pool or any other shenanigans.
It is so it's like, oh man, it's like Christmas. You know, it's you see 12 hatch, especially on like a 2-player map, because you know where they're gonna scout or where they're gonna spawn. But like if you see on a 4-player map and you see 12 hatch on your very first scout, you just feel like the superhero. Like it's the greatest moment in the world. This drone's trying to chase the SCV off. Oh, but he's making a Marine.
Yeah, like he's not going for that because he built a second depot and everything.
A little bit interesting here from Ninju.
But we have seen him kind of lean on the side of being safe before, and it has certainly paid off. So I mean, this is just his style.
Yeah, definitely, and it doesn't hurt, especially how we'll see his biocontrol coming out for this game if his biocontrol is as good as his mech control.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Terran vs. Zergs, the opening honestly is quite boring. I've got to say, as a Terran player myself, it's just everyone knows that Zerg's going for 2 hatch layer. Everyone knows Terran's going to be going for the 2 racks academy, maybe +1 4 racks. We'll see. I know that +1 4 racks has started to kind of come back into popularity because apparently you could do it against 2 hatch meta.
Yeah, I remember hearing people talk about that. One thing that happens in CPL, especially with people like playing from across the world, is sometimes the turn rate is a bit low, and Zerg players don't feel comfortable going like so hard on the mutas. They want like turn rate 16 or better for 2 hatch muta or something. So we see like 2 hatch lurker or 3 hatch lurker or who knows what. So I feel like in this CPL environment, like more than others, we do see more deviation from the like strict like 2 hatch muta is the best build kind of meta.
Yeah, I think I heard someone say, I think I was watching one of the streams that maybe you were casting, where someone mentioned, I think Tai2 mentioned that Jayan said that he would never go mutas if it was turn rate 12 or lower.
Yeah.
Just to add on to your point there. So it is interesting to kind of note that I don't know if it's an adaptation because it's not really adapting to the metas. You're adapting to the lag that you have. But hey, regardless, if it works, it works.
Yeah, and Allen did a good job of having the lair at the natural, so the SCV couldn't cut the timing. I don't know if the SCV ended up seeing the spire. Okay,
he did not see
kind of
spire.
funny.
He saw the minerals.
Kind of funny to do that work. Saw the spot. Yeah, so Ninjube in a bit of dark here. Looks like he's powering ahead with 2 Rex Academy anyway. So playing the odds on that one.
Yep. Engineering Bay a tad late here. I obviously think if the turrets get thrown up right as the Engineering Bay finishes, they'll be in time. But that being said, I want to say something here. Ninjuba's done something very interesting. Instead of getting the medics immediately after the academy finishes, he actually went for another pair of Marines. Maybe he's going to go for some big timing here with the stim. His army is going to be just that touch larger. Actually keeping 2 Marines back here in the middle line. Oh no, he's there. There he is. He's bringing them over.
There we go.
But now his stim's about to finish, so this is going to be a little bit of a scary timing here for the Zerg player to have to deal with. His mutas will be in the eggs as his push comes across the map. But we'll see if Ninjube does put down those turrets. Yep, there he goes. Turrets started.
I don't know if just one sunk is going to cut it, though, especially when there's a third base here that's in danger. Okay, here we go. Here's a second creep colony. Cutting it really close here.
Yeah, I mean, 2 medics with this army. He's slowing down. I don't know. I guess he's a little bit scared of the mutas backstabbing him or something. And
I guess because he really didn't get a good read on the timing of the mutas. But I feel like if he did, he would just go for the third, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is normally the time you want to go and try to put pressure on the Zerg, force them to make a lot more lings, a lot more mutas, and not really allow them to drone up whatsoever. Especially if your biocontrol is good, you can pick off those mutas and really get up there to the third base while you're macroing back at home. And this is something that I know a lot of Terrans have been really trying to do to put pressure on this really, I guess, greedy style of play that Zerg's been doing with the mutas. Is that once you combine the army with the reinforcements, it's impossible for Zerg to ever contest your army.
So here, looks like Olet might be setting up for some big frontal attack. He's got the Lings banked up out front along with the mutas, but these Marines are pretty much optimally placed here to drive these mutas away for now.
Yeah, but unfortunately for him, the longer this game goes without him moving out, this third base will be able to come up online. The third gas is about to be taken there from All-In. But I think he's just waiting for a touch larger of an army here before he decides to do that really big push out. And, maybe he's playing a little bit more passively. He doesn't want to invest too much into missile turrets here. As you can see, only one missile turret there on top of his barracks. And normally, Terrans really like to put 2 to 3 there to protect the reinforcement line. So I think that's the reason why he's staying put back at home for now.
Yeah, playing it a bit risky here, which is kind of different than we've seen before. It's like relatively low amount of turrets in the main, but he's avoided losing almost any Marines. So this bio ball is getting really big. We normally see like the munis trade a bit and like maybe 6 or 7 Marines die, but that just has not happened.
Bad micro there, managed to accidentally kind of run over the bio ball. Oh, he's got to be careful.
Oh,
he's surrounded. Oh man. Okay, this is the moment
damage.
we're gonna see here Ninjube. Now he's just gonna stim right across the map. He knows he picked off so many of those meters. A lot of those meters are very badly damaged right now. Oh, another meter's going down. He got to pull back. He's got to wait for reinforcements here. All-In has to wait for reinforcements here. His lurker aspect is only halfway done, and it's gonna be hard for him to hold. Losing another
meter. He was just marching across the map. He's not scared at all. He knows exactly the position that he's in. Oh, he's gonna get a second Overlord here, and Zerg needs them right now. He needs to make these big plays. No, don't let it get away! Come on! No! Oh my god, that's so big.
Oh man,
so that would stop the lurkers from starting. Oh man, here we go. The third sunk's not even done yet. Muta's trying to harass these Marines, but they're just gunning down the sunks.
All the meters are going down. There's one sunken colony left over right now, but there's too many medics here healing up the Marines. And this might be game over right here. The lurker aspect's not even done yet. The Hydras.
There's no Hydras.
There's not even any Hydras. There's the GG.
Here we go.
Oh man, All-In with just a touch of miss micro there, and he's just gonna get absolutely crushed. And that is, I've got to say, that is the issue with Terran vs Zerg matchup. Is any small mistake just causes you to insta lose like that.
Yeah, Zerg is watching such like a tightrope all game. Such a narrow margin of error. That's why that matchup's hard.
Yes, sir. And it's almost like a King of the Hill right now, where Ninjube is just staying on all these games. He's 3-0. Very impressive showing here from Ninjube.
Exactly. And this is these are not bad players. These are all really good players. And for him to go 3-0 is very impressive.
Yeah, we'll see if he can finish it off here with the 4-0. The last game, let me just change the name here from All-In to Shafir. Or is it Schaefer? I'm not sure.
It's Shafir.
Okay, Shafir. But we will be going into game number 4 here. Ninjube on a roll 3-0. Will he be able to sweep the group here with the 4-0? And maybe make sure that I switch to the scene. There we go.
There you go.
And the last game for Ninjube on Eclipse here, spawning up at the top right-hand position as the blue Protoss is going to be Shafir.
And the bottom right, once again, the pink Terran, or in the bottom left, the pink Terran Ninjube. Can he sweep this group? Yeah. So Shafir is a player that I play with a lot. He was on my team last season. We scrim a lot. He's very good. So we'll have to see. He usually plays a lot more aggressive than some of the Protosses that we've seen so far. Also, that means that there's 3 Protosses in this group, so we're going to see a whole bunch of PvPs. And I'm excited for that because I'm really bad at that matchup right now and I need to learn things. But in this game, so far, we don't see anything too cheesy out of Shafir, which does not surprise me. He doesn't usually go hardcore on the cheese. And looks like Ninjube is going to do the same thing he's done before. Get that barracks up in his main, play it safe.
Yep. And we already know this this dance here from Ninjube. He's going to put the SCV on the ramp as well to protect from the gas steal, get the barracks, get the gas, do that factory, academy, factory push as he's always done. And we'll see how well Shafir can hold it off. It's almost like we don't even need to commentate this game until like the midway point.
Yeah, can we skip until the fact CC fact push gets held off and then just play the gas from there?
We definitely could do that. I feel like we actually wouldn't miss much at all because as we see, as you said, Shafir is not one to cheese very much. But he is actually going for, it looks like it's going to be a Zealot pressure here with the second pylon before gas.
Yeah, he loves just running zealots in there. Like he loves forward gate or just like this where you just send 1 or 2 zealots in. He just loves messing with Terran.
He's one of those disgusting Protoss players. Going for
Exactly.
Zealot
He's
harass.
the kind of person who's going to shorten Arctos' lifespan by like 5 or 10 years due to stress. It looks like this SimCity is very good though. From Ninjube, it's going to be really good at stopping Zealots. There's just 2 little holes here for Marines to run in. Of course, that doesn't like completely shut down the Zealot harass if Shafir has really good micro.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Wow, he's walled out the whole base here. Okay, looks like he has figured out what's happening with this scouting SCV. So it's I'm pretty sure Ninjube is going to handle this quite well. But the Zealot is still not like a loss. Like forcing this layout is going to hurt Terran a little bit at some point. It's not like it's not a complete loss for the Protoss here.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it forces Ninjube to put all of his supply depots down there at the bottom, and then put all of his factories at the top. But I think he definitely has a decent amount of room there for enough factories. He probably can fit 9, 10 factories up there, and won't make too much of a difference. But
right.
it is weird seeing this layout right off the bat here from the Terran.
Yeah. All right, let's see how much damage Shafir can get done.
Oh,
wow, this Marine's not moving at all.
Uh-oh.
It's a little scary.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the probe also got a pot shot on that Marine there as well, and now he's going to start focusing on these SCVs.
Can he shut down the factory? I think he might get
he
it.
will. Oh no, SCV just gets away, but
it's back on there. Get it. Oh no, he's following the Marine. He could totally kill that.
Oh, the probe's gonna get the probe got the SCV.
Oh, nice. Second one's gonna try to take over. I think this factory is gonna get down, but this is a good amount of damage to the Marine and an SCV, and it's not over yet.
Yep, the Zealot is going to be back on there. We'll be able to pick up that SCV. Get the SCV, Zealot. Oh, 2 HP. Oh, man. This Zealot is just probably going to have to run away. Yeah, he sees the Vulture being built right now. He has disrupted Ninjube a little bit here, which is always obviously what you're trying to look for with these initial Zealot harasses. Now, second Zealot coming out here is going to go right back into the base. SCV's being forced to be pulled off the line now, but once that Vulture comes out, it's going to be the end of the Zealot harass, and we're going to see here what Shafir is going to transition into. Will it be fast Robo, or is it going to just go into a Nexus?
Oh, and there's a goon crossing the map, but he'll probably pull that back when he sees the Zealot get driven away.
Yeah, 4 Marines, a Vulture, definitely enough to take out that Dragoon. And he's just going to plop it right there on the high ground, make sure that that Vulture can't really run by directly. And he's actually going to a second gateway here. Wow, he's going to be very aggressive.
Yeah, it could be that he saw that the machine shop wasn't started yet. He saw that he got these Marines kind of low. He could just be trying to go in and kill the Terran, or maybe do some more damage before expanding himself. Yeah, it looks like he's going to get a Nexus now, so it's not like some kind of all-in, I guess. But the Vulture snuck around and is absolutely going to get in the main here of Protoss. Oh, there is a third goon about to spawn. Can he get the ramp in time?
Oh, nice. He does. Perfect timing there from that one.
Calculated.
Dragoon. Yes. Oh man, that Vulture got in. I mean,
yeah, saving him so much headache.
Protoss would be crying.
Range not quite done yet. Oh, come on.
There it is. There it is.
All right.
So I do have to say something here. Ninjube does have to be careful if he gets broken, because those Marines in that bunker are not healthy Marines at all.
They're like 1 or 2 shots away. But it is only 2 goons here, and there is a tank up. So until this second gateway gets online, I don't see much potential for damage here.
Yep. And he's just gone for a robotics facility at the same time, and not really pumping out these gateways. I guess he's just trying to get a little bit more economy up, prioritizing the probes, prioritizing the tech first, before he decides to make more Dragoons, which I think is smart here. You know, he is just trying to expand at this moment. And
he might walk into a mine. Oh, he stopped it. Very nice. Very nice. Paying attention to all his units. I kind of wonder if Shafir didn't talk to the other Protoss maybe, and like they were like, yeah, he went fac CC fac every game, because these 2 gateways are going to, there's no way he's ever going to lose to a fac CC fac push if he has 2 gateways online already.
Yeah, he's already got 6 goons out right now. 7 and 8 should be on the way soon here, and there's no way that a 2-fact like this it will ever be able to pick off. Oh, he's got to watch out for this goon though. Oh, nice snipe there by Ninjube, realizing that Shafir is probably busy elsewhere on the map.
Very nice play.
Oh my, Shafir really commits this build, man. He makes this Marine every time, even though this time he's actually got the 4 Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna.
All right, that mine was no, it was just face tanked. I don't think it was defused. These goons are set up kind of in an arc, not on top of the hill.
Yeah, definitely a little bit interesting here. I think something that Protoss is in this matchup will definitely want to learn a little bit more about is abusing this high ground area. Wants to kind of retreat from pod to pod and then take that arc right there at the bottom of the ramp. But here we go. The Dragoon's a little bit clumped up right now. The Vultures are here in position. There's a lot more Marines than normal, so this push might do quite a bit more damage than we saw from the last couple games.
Let's see. Yeah, Shafir's not quite as ready as I thought he would be. He's already having to retreat behind these pylons. It's going to be really scary to break out of there.
Yeah,
with this observer.
Luckily, the tanks do not have siege mode, but he is starting to bleed quite a bit of HP here on these goons. One goon is already down to literally 1 HP. But now the tanks are just going to walk back, and I suppose this push is really just to see if Protoss are taking the third base and trying to pressure that. He's just going to move back right now. Now bringing the tanks over to the potential third base location. He has got to be careful, though. These goons are starting to ramp back up in numbers, and he's got to make sure he doesn't just carelessly lose these tanks.
Yeah, it looks like he probably thought that goon meant there was a third base there, but it was not started yet. Shafir not feel comfortable with that. And now these tanks might be in a bit of trouble here. These goons are out hunting for them. But yeah, I think that Ninjube doesn't need this push to win the game at all. I mean, as we've seen, he's had it fail 2 or 3 times and he won anyway. So he wisely decides to just get out of there before too many more goons spawn.
Yep, and as we see before, pulling back the 3 tanks. Tanks really expensive units, obviously, but keeping 3 tanks alive is pretty significant.
Oh, where these like 2 tanks rallied going to the natural again? That's a mistake, right?
That is the absolute mistake, and it's gonna be really scary to see if he loses these 2 tanks here. 3 tanks right outside the bunker, actually, and we'll see if these Dragoons will manage to dive on top of them here. Shafir is moving forward. No, does manage to load those Marines into the bunker in time. But is he just gonna go for a bust here? I'm not really so sure about this one.
Oh, she just get out of there. Yeah. Oh, and one of those tanks that ran across the map does get killed by these like 3 goons sitting near the natural. So it looks like Ninjube is going to donate 2 early tanks. But Shafir not taking his third yet, and this is starting to get late to take a third, especially like when he absolutely could be taking one. It looks like he is starting the Arbor Tech a bit earlier than our other players, though.
Yep, managed to pick off the Vulture finally, the third, and will now start to take it. He might even try to go for a double expand here if he's seen the replay from the other games. We know that that Ninjube does not put pressure at all in the early portions of the game besides the 2 factory timing.
Oh yeah, and this is interesting. So Ninjube is building SCVs out of that 3rd command center before lifting it, so he really does not feel safe going out on the map yet.
Yeah,
here we go. Well, right when I say that, he lifted up.
Sick. I think it might have been a little bit more passive just because he saw how aggressive Shafir was when he broke the bunker with the goons. Thinks that maybe Shafir is trying to go for some kind of big bust and definitely wants to play a little bit more safe here. But now he's going to start moving out with his tanks. I think he feels a lot more confident now to take that third.
Yeah, he is pushing out the group of units. Shafir paying attention, not allowing any free shots on his goons.
As you say that!
Come on, man. Every time I say anything, it's wrong.
Oh, it's gonna... Oh, okay, doesn't lose a goon just yet, but yeah, Cold, you need to just be quiet right now.
Yeah, I need to wait, I need to put a delay of 2 seconds or something on my speech.
Oh, man, but...
Something like that.
Jeez, you've cast a curse a lot this
I know,
today.
it's nuts. I'm like, alright, he's totally gonna save it. Oh, he died. Sick.
Oh, man. But anyways, the probes are transferring over to third base. Shafir definitely does have to get a 4th base up, though, at this point. Like, he needs to start that 4th nexus now. Because otherwise he's just going to get out-macroed throughout this game. And he is moving the probe up there. But yeah, like I said, the timing here for Terrans, keeping... He did lose one of those tanks for free. Another tank is moving across the map! What is this?
Oh, this rally! Oh, okay. This time he caught it. There was an observer that saw it, but the goons aren't really close enough to run out and do that.
Okay, interesting scan there on the high ground where his tank was ready.
Interesting is you're worried about DTs.
I suppose.
I don't know what that was about. Yeah, I think Shafir is just not in quite a good place as some of the other Protoss players we've seen. His base count is just not rising at the same rate, and with this passive built-up style from Ninjube. I mean, Ninjube is already up on supply, up on workers. This is gonna be real scary unless Shafir can make something big happen.
Yeah, it looks like Shafir might try to go for a double expand.
Oh yeah, we do
here.
it. Yeah, okay. All right, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Shafir's position relative to the other Protoss players that we've seen today against Ninjube is definitely slightly behind. His army count is very much behind, as you can see. He's actually down by almost 20 supply. That's, as a Protoss player, that's not where you want to be, right? Terran should never be ahead of your supply, and He's really got to get his economy going. But the problem is that even if he gets economy going, by the time the bases start kicking in, Ninju might be pushing across the map.
Yeah, the push will be there right when you finish your last set of probes. That's gonna be real scary. Like, there's so many tanks on the map already.
And 2-1 is also on the way already. So it's scary. It's just all around scary right now. The 2-1's about almost halfway done at this point. And like I said before, as you said, the last round of probes will finish basically when that push comes through.
Oh, and this base in the top is not even going to go down. These vultures getting here before the probe can build anything. Fortunately for Shafir, he does have that base at the 4 o'clock. But 4 bases versus 3 is okay, but not that comfortable.
Yeah, you need supreme control of a Protoss army to be able to hold on in a 4 versus 3 base situation, as we see right now. And man, as that 2-1 starts getting closer and closer, it's like a doomsday clock ticking for Shafir. Like, he needs to get a 6 stasis, maybe a sick recall that can really halt that Terran push for at least 3 to 4 minutes. Because otherwise, we've seen Ninju's army control. It is really strong. So if he doesn't find himself some kind of advantage, he's going to be in a world of hurt. I mean, he's trying to get basically all of the Terran, all of the Protoss ground upgrades all at once. He's got +1 ground, +1 armor.
Oh, he has 3 forges. Wow,
he's got 3 forges, so he's trying to find something. But I'm not sure Protoss upgrades are that good in this matchup to warrant this style from Shafir.
Yeah, especially when you're like not that you're not ahead. If you were ahead and you want to just get more ahead, yeah, get all the upgrades. But this is a point where like every unit could matter. He could get like Storm instead, maybe. Let's see if it pays off. It looks like that push. The upgrades for Terran are going to finish soon. Maybe like 1 or 2 of these upgrades for Protoss will be done by the time the fight happens.
Yeah, I think he won't have the shields upgrade, but he'll have +1 attack, +1 armor. But as you said, this attack is coming right now. He's literally about to. Ninju's right about to max out here, and his 2-1 just finished. So here we go. We're going to have to see how well Shafir can hold off this attack, but there are a lot of tanks from Ninjube here. He's got about 1.5 control groups of them, and here we go. Here comes the push.
Yeah, and looks like the army of Shafir is going to the top left of the map, trying to do some big sneak around, but it might just end up with the Terran base just rolling down a Protoss base here. This army is going to be... These armies are so far apart, and Shafir sees that with his observer and decides to give up on whatever plan he had on the top left.
The vultures are already across the map here, and the tanks are soon to be following. He's already moved out onto these pods, and if he takes this high ground pod with the siege tank, it's going to be impossible to break up. Shafir is going to try to attack up the ramp, though. We're going to see how well this works out for him. Oh, he's got a big stasis. Oh, big stasis. It's solid, but there's not enough zealots anymore. The zealots got melted by those vultures out in the front. Nice D-matrix there on the front tank. He's got to pull back. Shafir needs to pull back right now. He's losing too many goons here.
You can't win this fight up the ramp. Come on.
Oh, no. Shafir's losing all of his goons. He's trying to push across the map right now, but oh man, Ninjube just supreme control, as we said before, and he's going to probably put like half his tanks on the high ground, half his tanks on the low ground, and slowly crawl up here. And now he's going to be right on top of that reinforcement line here for Shafir. God, I don't know. I think Shafir is done for here. This army is just too strong. The tanks did not go down at all. He's still got the initial 1.5 control groups here. He did unsiege right now. This could be a time here. The Zealots are getting top of the tanks.
The Zealots are going to get right top of all the tanks.
Oh man, but I just don't think there's enough. The tanks outnumber the Dragoons right now. Oh, this might be game. I think Ninjube's going to sweep the group.
Absolute brutality here from our Terran player. That stasis was so good, but I feel like if Shafir hadn't gone for whatever that plan was in the top left, and he had his whole army grouped together and organized, he would have had a decent chance at taking that fight. But as it happened, he kind of streamed in different groups of units, and they all got chewed up. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, as you can see, supply count right now is dropped to a 70 supply difference, and yeah, I think that one thing that from watching these replays that Protoss players want to take into account for this map especially is you really want to take control of those high ground pods and not let Terran just walk across the map freely like that. And I think that once Protoss players can incorporate that into their PvTs, we'll see a lot more success. But until then, Ninjube has just mastered this map in terms of the TVP, and as you can see, his tanks are just so beautifully spread out right now, taking control of that low ground. These gateways are going to be absolutely decimated, won't be, I mean, a decent stasis, but he's just buying time for whatever little army he has left.
Yeah, just delaying the inevitable. There's a shuttle full of 4 zealots. Can he bomb all the tanks? Probably not.
Well, 1 tank goes down. 2 tanks go down. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Maybe dropping probes would have been even better at this point.
Yeah.
He's going to try to break out here with these last couple goons, but like I said, you know you're in a bad position when tanks outnumber goons. And there's the GG. Well done by Ninjube.
Very, very nice played.
A complete domination of this group. Ninjube with the 4-0. Definitely a tier 0 player, I've got to say.
Oh yeah. He's gonna feel pretty comfortable up there, on top of Mount Olympus, judging the rest of us.
All right, so Ninjube will retire from his King of the Hill position, and we will throw in All-In to play against Shafir.
All right, I'm gonna go grab some water real quick.
Okay, we'll be
I'll
right
be
back.
in like 2 seconds.
Take a quick water break. Hope everyone in the stream has been enjoying the cast.
I'm back.
All right, wonderful. All right, let's get into the 5th game of the day between Shafir and All-In, a Protoss versus Zerg.
Interested to see how this goes. I think this is Shafir's best matchup.
Interesting to say that for a Protoss player to be his best matchup against Zerg.
Yeah. I feel like it's because Zerg players want to practice with you because they want the cheap win, so you get the most practice against PPC. That's how it's been for me anyway.
That's true. That is true. The more you practice matchups, the better you get at it. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, we're like that.
So we're going to see here at the top right-hand position as the green Zerg, it's going to be All-In.
And at the bottom left, it's Shafir. Is the what is this, like the bluish gray Protoss?
Yeah, slightly an off blue color.
Yeah.
And we will see. I don't know about you. Have Protoss players been more favoring the gateway or the forge first in these matchups?
It's been the gateway expand, but like Zerg has kind of adapted to it. So sometimes like the Zealots don't even cross the map, and you get the gateway more to like get your tech started faster than to do a lot of damage.
Oh, okay, interesting. And we do see Shafir not scouting with that probe initially, so it definitely looks more like a gateway than a forge.
Exactly. So getting it on 9 is a little unusual, I think. I remember last season I got into a debate with people over 9 versus 10. Don't know if I make a huge difference here. It looks like we might have a hatch first from All-In, and it's kind of interesting that hatch first is really not that bad against gateway first because you get so many larvae. But there is a window where Zerg can pressure, or where Shafir can pressure, maybe force more lings than All-In really needs. But it, it's certainly not like a game over to go hatch first against gateway first.
Yeah, I have seen that myself, and I've actually thought about this in a theoretical situation a lot, because a lot of people are like, overpool is just a standard for Zerg. It's good against Forge, it's good against Gateway, and other people are saying, well, 12 actually is good against Gateway first because of the fact you do, like you said, get a lot more larvae.
Yeah.
But as you said, the timing is really what matters. And can you get yourself in a situation where you can make Zerg get a lot more lings than they really want to? Because if you get all that extra larva, but you're not using that larva to make drones, does it really matter at the end of the day that you went for a 12 hatch? Because at that point, you've kind of wasted a lot of that larva for lings that are going to be useless, because you're going to get the wall off in, you're going to get the cannon up, and those lings can't really do much.
Right. So it all comes down to like how efficiently can the Zealot trade, how many lings does the Zerg make, determines who's ahead here. But we see Shafir is getting a very early Nexus. Usually you wait till like 21 supply to get this Nexus, and this is what you can do against patch first, because you know the lings are going to be delayed and the lings are going to be busy defending rather than coming at you. So you can get your Nexus very early in this kind of thing, and you probably will only make like 1 or 2 Zealots, because eventually they're just going to have way too many lings. So poking the drones, yeah, getting out of there at exactly the right time. Unfortunately, you can't like tuck yourself behind these minerals, but you can just make it. You can waste more time trying to get these drones, but switching targets too much.
Yep, a little bit of as you say, target switching there. A lot of drones taken down by 1 Zealot hit. And as you said, it is a little awkward here. This mineral line specifically, the Zealots cannot park themselves behind and hold position. Interesting to see him go right into the main without his probe, especially to kind of help his Zealot micro. That being said, we do see a lot of lings out right now. We got 4 chasing the Zealot and then 6 more on the map. So he's basically made a full control group of lings here, and we're going to see how much pressure that he can actually get with them. Because remember, like we said before, if you make all these lings and you can't really do much with them, sure, you can pick off the initial Zealot, but you know, maybe one or two of those lings should have been turned into drones.
Yeah, and we can see that Shafir didn't even rally his second Zealot because he knew how it was going to go out. So I think this is a great exchange for Shafir. You know, he forced like 10 lings and lost 1 Zealot, so that's really nice. And now like he's like ahead kind of where he would be normally. His core is coming up great. He's got his forge done. His can. He's not going to die to lings. This wall is really cozy here, and so yeah, that was a great exchange for Shafir. Even the third hatch is kind of late here.
Yeah, and as you said before, you know, he got that Nexus up at 17 instead of 21. It was a very early Nexus. So Shafir is going to be in a very comfortable position moving into the mid-game. His tech is going to be faster, as you said. He's going to have a much better time of getting those gateways up faster as well for timing. He's even snuck a probe across the map here past all these lings that All-In tried to kind of spread out across the map, did not catch the probe. So the probe is going to come in here and see exactly what's going on. And he's going to see that it's going to be, looks like a 4 hatch before layer build here from All-In. Kind of an old school build, I would say.
Yeah, I've seen a few CPO players bring out this build. I don't think I've ever seen it on ladder, but it's really strong. You should end with so many Hydras.
Yep, he will see the Hydra Den as well with the probe, and you know, he's going to see exactly what's going up against. I've got to say, I almost never see this build ever. At least back when I was casting for StarCast TV, you know, seeing PVZs, pros will almost never go for this build, and it's just so interesting to see. And I'm not going to lie, I'm very unfamiliar with how the build operates, so you're gonna have to be the one to lead me on.
I always lose to it, so maybe I can't be too helpful. But I think basically like Hydras, at least traditionally, are supposed to be like a mid-game unit. You know, you don't really want to be building them too late in the game. So this is sort of Zerg saying, okay, I'm gonna have the big mid-game army. So Protoss, you just play a bit safer, just try not to die. You don't really have to go too hard on attacking them and try to get like a safe, quick third base. I think that's how you're supposed to handle this.
All right, good information. We do see leg upgrades on the way right now, +1 weapons as well. So everything's going pretty much according to plan here for Shafir. No Templar archives just yet, though. Might be a little late. Second Corsair is on the way as well. And with the Probe Scout, he just goes straight for Overlords.
Yeah, you don't have to get archives that fast. Like, he's up the 3 gateways with Zealots. I think it's fine to delay your Templar in that scenario. Yeah, this is a completely reasonable time to get the archives.
All right. Well, if Protoss Man says so, Protoss Man's right.
Yeah, it's like if you want to rush to Templar, then you don't get that many gateways. Like, you can get 3 or 4 gateways and delay the Templar, and you're really fine with speed Zealots. Especially because he didn't throw away his early Zealots. You know, he lost 1 and that's it. So he's got a decent pool of Zealots here. Yeah, this is totally fine.
I'm still stuck in that old school style where like you go straight into Templar archives right after your Citadel finishes and Bisu build. You know, try to get those DTs out on the map. But you know, he's gonna have that timing line up for him with these Zealots, and with these 3 gateways, he's got quite a bit out on the map.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty scary here for Zerg. Probably gonna have to see him make a bunch of units. He'll still be behind on where his drone count wants to be. Like, Zerg wants to get to that 38 drone count and sit on that until they get the 4 bases. And 29, like that's a lot of potential eco that's not there.
Yeah, as we said before, when you made those many lings, you're losing out on those drones that could be mining for you from the very beginning of the game. And
there just aren't that many Hydras, so it's gonna be hard for him to cover all these fronts, and at the same time, these Corsairs are gonna poke these Overlords. Well, these Zealots get a bit confused by the ramp. Looks like they're gonna meet these Hydras in the middle, which is gonna be a much better exchange for them.
Yeah, also interesting to see that when you go for such a big Hydra style like this off of the 4-hatch before layer, that you get these Sunkens. Normally, what you'd see, and Zergs, obviously trying to optimize their builds these days. If you're gonna go for this many Hydras, you don't want to make Sunkens, right? Because you don't want to. You're losing out on drones. You're making more units than drones, and these 2 Sunkens here that are being made could still be drones mining. Whereas if you're going for more turtle style, then you don't make as many Hydras, but you do get the Sunken colonies out.
Yeah, I think Allen is kind of reeling from that early attack and making too many links. His game plan's thrown off. He probably didn't want to make all these Hydras, so he tried to skimp by just getting like 1 or 2 Sunks. I thought they would save him more larvae in the end, but this big Zealot attack kind of punished him for doing that. Oh, and now we have a DT here. Looks like I don't see any bases that aren't covered by Overlords, but it is going to scout out this 4th and deny any expansions there for a while.
Yeah, we did see that massive drone out there from Zerg. He made 11 drones, all just popped out. So now he is up to that 39 drone count. So he will be pretty comfortably mining soon. As you said, probably wants to try to take a 4th base eventually as well. He's getting into that lurker tech, so definitely that will help him secure an expansion against these big Zealot groups.
Right, and we do see the range and robo started right on time. So Shafir is going to be ready for that lurker transition. Excellent timing there, figuring out that the layer was late, so you can delay that just a little bit. Looks like Shafir is checking for 4th bases, which is really smart. He did have that. I don't know what happened to that DT, but he did have that check to make sure that wasn't a base at the, what is that, 11. Oh, these Zealots do get kind of caught out. That's kind of unfortunate. You don't want to lose these for no value. So that's a little sad for Protoss. But he does have another group at home. He has 4 Templar. He's certainly not in danger of dying because he lost those units, but it is going to hurt his aggression in the next fight or so.
Yeah, and Zerg, now has an option here. Does he want to drone up more because he knows that Protoss can't really move out across the map after losing that sizable group of Zealots, or does he just want to go for a big bust and start making a lot more units out here? And by the way, the DT went all the way back to his own 3rd base at 9. Now it's parked itself up there towards the top left. So way to pick off a Ling. But we'll see these Hydras. Will they pick off the Corsairs? 1 Corsair does manage to get picked off, so there we go.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit rough if a big chunk of these Hydras turn into lurkers. We do have the robo. I don't see an observatory yet. Looks like Shafir's a bit late on that. He could have trouble with these lurkers if they come out.
Yeah, observatory is done, so he just needs to start making those observers. Bad storm there. But this first gateway might just get picked off here. He is starting to try to dance around here, trying to predict the storm coming down. Will manage to pick off that initial gateway, so opening up that choke point just a little bit more. And Shafir is going to try to start moving out here, but he does need that observer, as you said. This observer is very, very late. If the lurkers are coming out right now, he's not going to be able to move across the map. He's trying to secure his 3rd, but we'll see. Allen has not made any lurkers just yet, or at least with his army.
Yeah, fortunately for Shafir, there are no lurkers, so he's going to be okay with that. I feel like Shafir needs to be securing a 3rd rather than trying to fight. I don't know if he has the numbers. Here we go. We have 5 lurkers at home, and without an observer, there's no way that Shafir is able to break that base. So I feel like Shafir should really be making sure that he gets a base, maybe heading down and killing this undefended 4th if he can sniff it out.
Yeah, it is a little bit sneaky, though, because of the fact that you expect Zerg to really want to take that 12 o'clock base more. But here we go. No observers here. The lurkers are out. Nice storm by the Hydras!
Storm.
Oh my goodness, just absolutely just a puddle of those dead Hydra carcasses there. And he's just going to pull back, wait for the observer. And I think that he might try to go for a break of some sort here.
Yeah, after that huge storm, Shafir's like 30 or 40 supply up. So kind of proving me wrong there. And this observer is here. These lurkers are kind of undefended, so this might be Shafir's chance to get in here and do a lot of damage.
Another nice beautiful storm there. Those Hydras getting softened up, the lurker getting taken down as well. And only Hydras really left over, 2 lurkers now, but there's still quite a bit more storm here onto these Templar. Oh, they will snipe the observer. Really nicely done there. So now he's after the pullback. Not such a great storm.
Kind of storming himself.
Alright, he is just going to try to park himself away from those lurkers, force the lurkers to kind of move up into his army here. Another decent storm, and he's going to use these goons to try to hopefully pick off the Sun Colony, maybe pick off some of those. Lurker eggs
lurker
here.
block, but he can just storm them.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. With so many storms left over, here come the lurkers. They're going to try to move across here. Still no observer with this army. He might try to just run his goons into the base.
He can throw the drones from here.
Does he have enough energy? He's got one storm
left. One or two storms left on these Templar. Come on. Storm the drones.
There it is.
Yeah,
Beautiful storm of the drones there. The lurker.
Nice.
The lurkers do pop out. No observer still again. And I think this attack might finally get cleaned up here. It's so weird. He's not bringing any more observers back home. But, oh man, this army is just so big that the lurkers come in and, one of them manages to burrow, but one of them also gets picked off while trying to burrow.
Yeah, and now they're going to walk away. So this fight has gone great for Shafir. He killed so many units. He kept so many of his units alive. It looks like he lost the Templar, which is a little sad, but he killed the drones. He killed a hatchery. And now his Zealots are going to run into the main. His attack is just not over yet.
Yeah, and he also has an opportunity here with this little bit of army left here in the middle of the map to even attack that 11 o'clock position, that 5th base that All-In is trying to set up here. And All-In, meanwhile, is reeling from his attack. You can see that he's not even touching any of these other bases that he's got set up. And here we go. He sees that, 11 o'clock.
Very nice. And then if Sheer can scout that fourth or fifth, whatever it is, in the bottom right, he's going to be absolutely in a fantastic position. He's getting his own third up a little bit later than he would like, but it's going to be completely safe now. He did plenty of damage with his push here.
A little bit of a counterattack coming in here. 3 observers with his army back at home.
He absolutely does not want to die to lurkers at home.
Yeah, I mean, Shafir definitely, I think, could have moved one of those observers to his main army earlier on and maybe even just crushed him and won the game outright from there. But, better be safe than sorry here, and he is just going to go ahead, grab that 3rd base, secure it. He could even go for that 4th base at this point. His army is just so massive, and his upgrades are so well upgraded. 2-1 on these Protoss units. It is that new style, almost like a TVP style where you get that 2-1 into a 3-2, and your units against Zerg are just so strong.
Yeah, and Zerg especially kind of like delays when they start doing the upgrades in this matchup. So if the Protoss really focuses on it early, they can end up with like a huge upgrade lead for the mid game and just take so much advantage of it.
Yeah, and he is about to finish that 3-2 right now. Armor upgrade 2 is just finished. The +3 just finished now. So he's at 3-2. He's at that really strong moment of the game. Whereas Zerg, he's trying to keep up. He's got 2-1 on his ranged units. No melee upgrades just yet. Probably wait for Hive and Adrenal Glands to finish before he starts getting those melee upgrades. But yeah, Protoss is looking incredibly strong right now. Man, there's not enough Templar with his army, I think. That's the only one thing that I would add for Shafir.
Yeah, he just lost all his Templar in that first push. He hasn't remade. There's like 2 sitting at home, but none with his army. It's like he's going to try to buzz in here. These lurkers are not really defended. The Lynx are just waiting back, so even these Zealots can just walk right up on these lurkers and get big hits in. Oh, here we go. We have some Templar showing up from somewhere.
They just walk themselves across the map here, and with these 3 observers here, with this army, definitely will have enough of protection this time around for this army. And
I think that the Zealots got chewed up too much. The Zealots were too close to the lurkers, and the goons were fighting the Lynx, so it was kind of backwards there. Shafir takes a bad trade there in the end. And he hasn't restarted probe production, so the drone count is almost as high as the probes.
Yeah, definitely needs to get a couple more probes out there for his economy. But he is still macroing relatively well on these 6 gateways. He's got a couple of Archons back at home now. He's starting to get into that Morph Archons first mode. There we go. Now he's starting that probe production, as you mentioned. And, All-In, he does have this 4th base up. It's just not mining very much, so...
Yeah, and there's a drop here, just Zealots. There are 2 Songs here and a Nidus Canal, so the drop will be cleaned up, but it'll force some more units and delay mining. And at some point, like, the Protoss just has way more minerals than they have gas, so it's completely fine to throw away Zealots to get some harassment done.
Yeah, he is also taking that 4th base over there at the 9 o'clock position. And, once he gets that 4th gas up, that's when he can, really start hammering out those Templar. Could even just start going into Reaver Tech. And his army is just going to get stronger and stronger as the game progresses. Zerg is, his upgrades are pretty good right now. I definitely think he needs to start getting those melee upgrades because he is starting to transition into the kind of like that more Ling-heavy based army. And we are seeing the Defiler Mount come up as well. So he's trying to start getting his army into a little better shape. But, when Protoss starts getting those Archons out, more Templar and Reavers, it's so hard for Zerg to ever take a fight against them.
Exactly, that late game Protoss army has so much splash in it, so much like beefiness with those Archons. Can get really powerful.
Yeah, we do see that second robotics facility being dropped down there at the 4th base as well. So he is potentially going to that Reaver tech right now. Does have the support bay up. I don't see any Reavers just yet in production, but we will probably see that start coming out soon. And also 2 Dark Templar in production. Maybe might even go into a Dark Archon.
It could be. It could also be to drop bases. We don't see great Overlord spread from Allen. There's been so much going on in the game. Like the main has no detection in it. There were just 3 Overlords spawned at that 4th base, but there is potential for DTs to just do damage on their own.
Yeah, I will admit I'm a very big proponent of people using DTs more for Dark Archons in the later stages of PvZ. I think that they're super strong.
We've seen that become more popular in general. Sometimes like getting Dark Archon for some Muta players. I mean, like those spells are good. Like there's no way that stunning all bio units for like 7 seconds is a bad spell, right? So I think we are going to start to see that more and more in the meta. I don't know if Shafir's going to do that this game though.
Yeah, as you said, dropping DTs, they can do damage on their own. We do see the shuttle loaded up with those 2 DTs right now in the middle of the map. It's going to try to find, hopefully, a weakness to use those DTs and crush the economy of Zerg. Maybe pick off a tech building or 2 would be really, really nice for him. In the meantime, Shafir is going to try to take that bottom right-hand base of his own. And so it's going to be kind of awkward, the 2 bases just staring across each other from this little canyon.
Yeah, Shafir out expanding the Zerg right now. Very confident in his army in the middle of the map. I kind of wish he had more probes. Which is funny because he always tells me to make more probes, and now he's sitting here with not that many probes. But it's certainly working for him this game. Yep,
1 DT getting into the 3rd base there. And the shuttle is going to try to find a spot to drop this DT and then try to escape right now. And no Overlord here with this with these Hydras, actually. So this DT is going to get a couple of these drone kills again. So not bad here for Shafir.
Yeah, getting shut down pretty quick, but denying mining, all these drones had to be pulled. Got a few drones, a decent drop for Shafir.
Yeah, managed to also keep one of those DTs alive as well. But right now, it looks like he's just trying to upgrade his army as best as possible. You can see back at home making 3 more Archons. He loves these Archons, man. He's got 5 with his army right now. His Archon count is going to go up to 8 soon. He's got Reavers starting to be built at every single one of, at all these robotics facilities. So, his army is getting scarier and scarier as this game goes on.
Definitely. Yeah, with these plus 3 Archons, they one-shot Lings. And with the splash, that's really brutal. Like Zealots are basically obsolete at a certain point in the game, other than just as a way to spend minerals, because the upgraded Cracklings just destroy Zealots. But when Archons get that splash going, that's really how you deal with mass Lings in the late game. Yeah,
we're going to see here the Zerg is going to try to drop on top of this base right now, but the cannons are just going to morph in time, as well as that DT and Zealot hold positioning on top of the ramp right now are going to make sure that no Zerg units can get on top of that ramp. And here we go. Looks like Shafir thinks it's time for him to go out on map and exercise his massive army.
Yeah, he's going to defend his base at least. This 4th base isn't super defended. There's some lurkers up there, but maybe with like some Reavers in a shuttle or with some really good control, he could snipe down those lurkers and take out that base. Although on the other hand, there's only 5 drones fighting there, so maybe it's not the biggest deal to go in on that. It looks like we have a Zerg move out here, maybe going to retake that 11 o'clock or maybe threaten a Protoss base. It is scouted by this DT drop, and the DTs will get cleaned up. Yeah, we had this Protoss army trying to move out to this army. Yeah, the split though, really gross. That's one of the things that happened to me so much on this map. With this little high ground.
You gotta be careful. A lot of these expensive Archons and High Templar are a little bit caught out here. I think they're gonna get caught. Uh-oh.
Oh no, this storm goes down without any Templar. The Archon gets out, but some goons go down, so not fatal for Shafir, but definitely gonna feel bad. Oh my god, there's so many Archons.
I was about to say, it's just these glowing balls of energy all over the map right now. He's got a control group.
A control group of Archons, so Lings are gonna get absolutely erased from the map.
Oh my god, he actually has a full control group. Actually full 12 Archons with this army. This is incredible. You know, it's very rare you'll ever see this many, but he really likes these Archons, and you know, it's a decision for Protoss always. It's like, you know, do I want Storm or do I want these Archons? And it looks like Shafir prefers these Archons, and you know, they're also really good against Plague, by the way, because Plague doesn't do anything.
9 damage. Yeah, this army getting wiped out. I mean, this is why.
Oh my god,
so strong,
these
so
Archons just running through the army, and the splash damage ignores the swarm as well.
Alright, here we go, Mass Archon PvZ. It's the new meta, guys.
It's just, the Zerg army just melted, and the Plague on the 5 Archons, the Archons just like laughing at him, and this army looks so incredible right now.
Absolute brutality. That expansion shut down, and Zerg is starting to run out of money. Like the main is mined out. There's only a couple hundred minerals in the third, a couple hundred minerals in the natural. So it's really just this base in the bottom right that has any substantial income.
Oh my god, the league is just getting brutalized by these Archons, man.
Ridiculous.
And Zerg is trying to reestablish that base there at the 11 o'clock, but it's so hard. Like, how are you going to stop this Archon just rolling over your entire army?
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely not with Mass Lynx. Hydras are a bit better just because they can snipe down the Archons, but when there's this many units, it's not great. So it looks like there might be enough reinforcements here from the Zerg to finally clear out this base, but at such a huge cost to Zerg, delaying their expansion by so much. And in the meantime, Shafir has 6 gas to rebuild all these Archons with, so we already see 5 more forming in the natural.
And he's also just like maxing out on Reavers as well. He's got a total of 6 Reavers right now at some of these bases, and the Reaver, as soon as the League see the cannons and the Reavers, they're like, nope, I'm running away.
I'm out of here. See ya.
Now there will be Swarm coming down onto these cannons, so the cannons will be nullified. But there's too many Reavers here. Oh, nice Plague. Big Plague. Oh, but the Filer goes down. The cannons are still alive, man. It is just...
Reinforcements are here. Yeah, so this base stays alive. And Shafir, you know, he's just like locked down his position here. So it looks like that base at the 11 is going to try to go up again, but after that expensive attempt at killing the Reavers and cannons, there's not much Zerg army left. We see we see some Lings and a few Ultras being spawned. They aren't upgraded yet. I think they just
got the Carapace. So the Ultras just got the Carapace upgrade. The Ultras are good against Archons, by the way, for those of you who don't know. But will it be enough here? I think it will be. The Ultras are doing a decent job of tanking for these Hydras, and ironically enough, Ultra Hydra, a weird composition, is good against Mass Archon.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better than I thought he would. It looks like he'll save the space for now. Shafir trying to stream in units, but 2 split up. Well, right when I say that, looks like that the Zerg is going to wait for reinforcements. Going to morph some lurkers in the mineral line there. Here we go. So Shafir's making more units. Not that much reinforcement yet. I'm kind of surprised. He's got a ton of gateways and a ton of money. I guess he's taken like worse trades in these fights than I thought he would.
Yeah, I think right now he's sending these units a little bit piecemeal into the Zerg army right now, and he's just got to pull back a couple of units, just remax. And I gotta say, I want to see some shuttles start moving these Reavers across the map. He's got so many of them that you know, he really should start using the Reavers offensively, because right now he's got a lot of good supply.
A storm drop at the 4 o'clock.
Oh, he stormed his own Templar! No!
But he's still got a good amount of drones. He got 5 drones or so. 6 drones.
Yeah, 6 drones, not bad.
So it feels, yeah, but it could have been a lot better.
And the Lings copying on the Nice Canal will take down that Templar. But here we go, back into Archon production, back into morphing those Archons. And Shafir's macro this game, definitely not the strongest. He is starting to run out of gas, ironically enough, because he's making so many of these Templars and Reavers. But yeah, like I said, I do want to see him start using those Reavers. He hasn't used them at all, and they're just sitting there not really doing anything. Because the thing with this game so far is that Alvin has really been on the defensive the whole game. With Shafir, you know, with those massive armies that managed to crush him in the mid stages of the game, that Shafir needs to stop using these Reavers just purely defensively.
Right. I mean, there's so much money and supply wrapped up in these Reavers. Like, you only really need 2 per base. maybe 3 if it's on a low ground base to be safe. It looks like he has picked up 2 in a shuttle. It's not moving around yet, but it could help a lot, especially against these really beefy ultras.
Yep. Also, great siege unit as well. Can just like pick off these lurkers as well. So, you know, these Reavers really need to see something here. The shuttle will see this base here and see these lurkers over here at the top left, and he knows exactly where to attack next, at least.
I'm trying to attack the 5th base, wherever this is, but there's lurkers on the ramp. Ultra is waiting. I don't think this push is going to make it up this ramp. Yeah, getting murdered here by these highly upgraded units.
The Scourge will pick off the shuttle.
No. Okay, well, the Reavers drop, but they get cleaned up real fast. So this is starting to look really good for Zerg. This is the stuff of my nightmares, man. Like, I have a really strong mid game. I just can't kill the Zerg, and we end up with this, where they just get like stronger and stronger each minute until I'm just losing the game.
Yeah, and you know, this is the time where Protoss, I don't want to say panic, but it definitely starts looking worse and worse for him, because you can see the supply. You know, he used to be way ahead in supply. Now it's slowly starting to transition to the point where Zerg is starting to even the supply of Protoss, and as we know, that's not where you want to be.
Zerg units are so supply efficient. It's so scary to face an army that big. So he has shut down mining here at this base for now with this good drop micro, but I think eventually it'll just have to get cleaned up. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we do see a couple more shuttles being built. The Reavers are being moved now, finally, but it could be a little too late at this point, you know, with how inefficient he started to become going into this late game. 2 Templars here trying to finally morph. There we go, they morphed. He does have a Dark Archon finally, yay!
Ooh, spicy.
It's one of my favorite units in the game that is underused. I always try to make one in my late game PvZs.
I want to use it more, but I'm just too bad. But like, there's no way that it's not a good unit. Like, feedback alone is so good. Like, if you could like snipe defilers, because they probably always have so much energy, like that'd be so much value in this matchup. Yeah,
they're also very weak units, so you know the defiler, just one consume could basically kill it.
Yeah.
All right, traded a couple Reavers and a shuttle for a decent amount of drone kills there, but you know, like I said, the Zerg is really starting to get maxed out on those upgrades. Does need one additional melee upgrade there for the Zerg. Protoss in the meantime is maxed out 333 on his units, so very strong. But like I said, like you said before, you know, Zerg is so cost efficient right now that it is starting to get hard here for Protoss to find really good attacks. He needs like a sick Maelstrom on like 4 ultras or something.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. So Shafir has stopped trickling in units. He has built up another scary army with a whole bunch of Archons in it. So if he's going to get something done, it'll be with this army. He's taken a nice route around and kind of gotten around the lurkers, so he's going to get up on this high ground before the fight starts. This is looking much better than the last couple of fights here. Can the Dark Archon make a big difference?
Does he have Maelstrom, or does he only have feedback? There comes the Plague. A nice swarm there right on top of those units there. The Archon's really doing a good job here of fixing or holding down that left side of the flank, but the Dragoons on the high ground are doing absolutely no damage to those units underneath the swarm here. Where is the Dark Archon? There's the Maelstrom!
There we go.
A beautiful Maelstrom there onto an Ultra. Nice storm to follow up.
With the storm. Very nice.
There it is. The base does end up going down here. The Cracklings, I think, will be able to manage to clean up the reinforcements. There are still quite a bit of Archons here with this army, but I think that, well, actually, no, the Archons are just so beefy and tanky that the reinforcements are just not actually ending up killing this army.
Exactly. It looks like he's trying to get away from these lurkers in underneath the swarm, kind of losing control of the units a bit. I feel like he could just leave and keep this army alive and fight later. Finally, the Dark Swarm goes down. It looks like he will clean up these lurkers, but he's going to lose like the rest of his Archons, and that's going to make him way harder for him to fight any Ling reinforcements we see come out of this Nidus right away.
We see these Lings just piecemealing, running in. Now, he does have a couple of Zealots here that will help tank for a little bit. This High Templar, no Storm, unfortunately. But now these Lings are just surrounding the army. We've got another batch of, well, there's a lot of Scourge actually on the map for some reason. But these Dragoons are starting to get a little bit of that advantage because of that long range. You know, even though they're not good against Lings, they can still manage to pick off a couple Lings before they get on top of the army there. Oh, they're the Scourge they use for, picking up the Observer, no more detection.
Exactly. A Ling getting in the mineral line here unnoticed might be able to do a ton of damage before the Zerg can deal with it. No observers though, so this one lurker is going to stay alive until maybe like a storm can kill it.
There the reinforcement ultras here finally will clean up this army, but not before Ole managed to lose a base, and he is starting to run dry on minerals. You see his bank right now is pretty much non-existent. He has he's got a little bit of mining here from these two bases, but Protoss also is starting to run out. We might ironically see Protoss start trying to take that 11 o'clock base for himself soon. He is mined out at basically every base. His 9 o'clock is going to mine out in the next minute and a half or so, so he won't be mining on one base.
Yeah, it's gonna get real scary for both players as their bases and income get whittled down here. Looks like we have another smaller attack here with like 3 Archons and 2 Reavers, but there isn't much here from Zerg to defend. Zerg is down to less than 60 supply. Really having a hard time reinforcing.
Ultras
Can we
get
get
popped
a big
here.
splash? Yeah, nice storm in all those units here, and the Reavers here to clear out the lurkers. So I feel like this whole game is going to come down to this fight right here, and who gets this money from this base.
Yeah, and I think Protoss is going to take it because these Reavers are just doing such a great job here. Of,
the observer!
Oh,
the observer goes down.
One of the Reavers also ends up going down here.
Yeah, and these units are on hold position, so they're not defending the Reaver.
Oh, Reaver goes down, but not before taking out quite a bit of those units from him. One observer is still with the army, though. This lurker will get seen, will get taken down. But I think that Shafir's got this. A beautiful storm on the drones, and there's just too much Protoss here. Oh, another storm on
all
the drone.
All the drones are dead. Down to 19 drones at 34 minutes in the game, and the Ice is going to go down. I think Holland has just run out of steam here.
Yeah,
he's got one mining base left, and it's almost done.
He's at 30 supply.
Yeah.
Oh man. There it is, GG. What an incredible game from both these players.
Yeah, what a hard fought game. Like it was back and forth, so many big fights.
35-minute
really
PvZ. I think Shafir made more Archons than I have in my entire existence of playing StarCraft.
That was amazing.
Alright. Let us get into game number 6 with Shafir taking that game.
Yeah, Superman saying that was a painful and satisfying game to watch, and I agree. Like, Shafir did such a good job, like, getting so many bases early in the game. Like, at one point he had more bases than Zerg, and he just kept himself safe. Like, he never lost a base, and so even if he took some bad trades, he could win in the end. But anyway, in this game, we have Angela Merkel. Didn't they play Protoss before? Wasn't this Royo playing Protoss? So he must be a race picker. Now he's playing the Teal Zerg.
Yeah, wait, interesting. Race picker here for Royo. He was PVT, now he's ZVP. That's kind of funny. Kind of interesting to note. I guess he really likes to pick all the good matchups.
Fix the overlay.
Oh. Which overlay?
There you go. They're good. It was on the players thing.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah, we have Shafir in the bottom left as the purple-ish Protoss. Looking very similar. It looks like he will get that 9-gate again. See what Rayo goes for here. I can't really tell what pool timing it is just yet, but we'll find out very soon.
Yeah, you never can tell until that money gets up to 200, and we'll see if he drops the pool down or not. And it looks like it will be an overpool.
Looks like it will be an overpool, which is like the most like standard safe. It's actually worse against 1-gate than 12 hatches, as long as the 12 hatch player doesn't make too many lings like we saw last time. Because you just have less larvae, so it's harder to balance the right amount of drones and lings. And Shafir did really well with just one zealot last time, so I think this is going to go. This bodes well for him based on what we saw from last game.
Yes, it will. By the way, Shafir, if you're watching, you can send the probe to mine a mineral from the natural, and it'll get back in time for when the pylon finishes.
Well, that's if you're doing a...
Oh, it's like a 10-gate.
A 10-gate? Yeah, he's doing 9-gate. I'm not sure of like all the math on how that works out. But I don't think you get the mineral back in time. Because like when I do 10-gate, the probe gets there just in time. to build the Gate.
I see. Okay,
Yeah,
I stand
it's also
corrected.
like it's also only like 8 minerals, so like it's not worth missing it. It's not worth the 8 minerals to potentially screw up the whole timing of your build.
Hey man, those 8 minerals are gonna win you the game.
Yeah, dude. Like later, it'll help you make like half a scarab.
Not even. I think it's like 1/3 of a scarab. Oh man. Anyways, we do see the initial 6 lings coming out here.
Oh, a gas steal. I don't even think it'll matter because like it's gonna be a while for that gas gets taken in a gateway first build. Maybe he'll cancel it to like heal the drone up or something. You almost never see that.
Yeah, very interesting. Especially against Gate first. He makes Zealots for a while, and then finally makes the Nexus. So well to see. The Lings are running across the map right now. The Probe actually managed to sneak by and still inside the main base. No, the Lings will find out. He knows where it is. Okay.
And Shafir wisely keeping his Zealot at home, blocking the ramp and keeping one Zealot out to defend.
There's a lot of Lings coming out.
Gateway.
Another 10 Lings out here for Zerg.
Yeah, this is so many Lings, and Shafir sees them, so this can give him plenty of time to make himself safe against this. He's pulling more probes here. He's got 2 Zealots out and a Zealot blocking the ramp. This feels really good for Shafir. Like he's gonna have to delay his Nexus a bit, but so many larvae spent on Lings. This is a great position for Shafir. This is like a complete overreaction to the 1 gate, I think.
Yeah, especially, as a Zerg player, when you don't see the Zealot move across the map, like, that Protoss is playing really safe.
Yeah, I from what I've seen the Zerg players talk about, like, when you see it's a gate expand, you go up to 6 Lings, and then if you see a second Zealot, make 2 more Lings. And that is like, if you are roughly equal in micro, that's what you need to defend against the start of a gate FE, and then you just add more Lings if they commit with more Zealots. But right now, yeah, and this gas expand is going to have like no value here. A gas steal is going to have no value here for Arroyo, because it's going to go down before Shafir even starts his cyber, right?
Yeah, or roughly like right as he starts his cyber, maybe. Like he's even just taking the assimilator back at his natural base.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to. Like, basically, gas is going to be completely unhindered, and we see Arroyo going for a 4th hatch again before layers, so we're going to see a similar build even before gas. Although this 4th hatch is a bit hidden, so Shafir might not sniff it out. He's definitely going to be suspicious of the no gas.
Yeah, and actually made another pair of Lings here from Royo. He's now made 12 Lings total so far. I guess it's because he sees these 5 Zealots.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Zealots moving across the map here. And he does have the Pro block back at home with another cannon coming up as well. So he'll be safe from any kind of counterattack. And this 5 Zealots, we'll see how much damage he's able to do. Force out maybe some more Lings from these hatcheries.
Yeah, we'll see here. Shafir is, he's shown like he completely understands how to make advantage of this build. And here we go. These Zealots trying to avoid getting surrounded. Some decent micro here. No losses yet. There we go. A few Lings go down.
Nice micro here from Shafir.
Yeah. Keeping the weakened Zealots behind, keeping these alive as long as possible. Getting a very good trade.
Yep, finally ends up losing those, and we'll see. No, wow, Royal did not overreact. Made drones during the whole ordeal. Was very confident that his Lings would take that fight, and he is gonna get that big drone count up. You can see 6 right now in production, more on the way. So he's gonna be, after all this is said and done, he's gonna be at like 30 drones.
Yeah, so Rayo completely reading that situation correctly, apparently. Doing a very good job there, and so it's like 5 hatcheries like before the first gas is done, so this is going to be huge economy, but late tech here. I don't know if Shafir's in the position to take advantage of it. He's skipping the Stargate. It looks like it's going straight up to Citadel with 4 gateways. So Shafir is going to meet this production with his own, a ground force, skipping the more tech route.
Yeah, I think maybe he's read the situation, knows that the mutas are not a threat for him right now.
Yeah.
He can go into this 4 gateway Zealot legs timing attack, and it is a little sad that he ended up losing some of those Zealots early on to the initial push, but I mean, once his +1 finishes and he's going to push out with like a control group and a half of Zealots, Zerg is going to have to be really careful in how he defends this first push.
And he even got a goon here. Too late to deny scouting, but this Overlord is going to hurt, and even with 5 hatcheries, Zerg is going to want to count every larva here to stop this big push coming from Shafir.
And Templar Archives coming down as well. Probably just wants to get those Archons just in case he sees Mitas in response to this.
But the Lair's not even done yet, so if he was in the Zerg base, he'd know he's completely safe.
Yes, sir. That would be true. He got good SimCity though, especially the third base is going to be very hard for Zealots to get in there and take down the second colony. He decided to wall off inside of it at the base instead of like kind of at the ramp. Kind of an interesting decision from there, but you know, if it works, it works, and especially because now the drone drill is going to be even stronger surrounding that second colony.
Yeah. Okay. So Shafir finally fixed it. He had 2 probes in the wall for like 3 minutes, even with like 4 zealots there, so not really necessary. But he has fixed that. He's starting to move out with this group of 7 zealots and a goon. Speed does kick in. There's enough units and defense on the table right now for Royo to hold this off. I think he's making more Hydras, so hopefully Shafir doesn't lose these units. If he can just cross the map and then come back, it'll be even better for the next push. See what he does here. He's gonna get up the ramp, but then see this really tight wall here.
Yeah, he should pull back right here. Oh, he's going to go for it, though. There's another Sun Colony morphing behind the mineral line. That's going to be also difficult for him to really get to. I'm not so sure about this. The drone drill is going to be really good here for the Zerg player. And he's also got more Hydra reinforcements coming up the ramp right now as we speak. And yeah, I'm not so sure that this is the best idea here. And not really killing out that many drones as well.
Yeah, I think a complete overcommitment. It's always scary as Zerg on these maps, or as Protoss on these maps where there's only one ramp to the third, because you can't retreat down the other ramp when the Zerg comes to reinforce, and we're seeing that pay off here, and the entire push goes down. Now Royo's going to be in a great position. He's going to be able to drone for a long time, and Shafir has to rebuild his whole army there. So I think just a complete mistake to commit that hard on killing the third base.
Yeah, I mean, we can see here that Royo is more drones than probes right now, and as a Protoss player, if you knew that was happening to you, you're screwed, because if the Zerg economy is that strong, he's just gonna maul you over once he hits that mid to late game when he hits 150 supply and plus.
So we see like a late Stargate here with 1 Corsair. Not really able to kill the Overlords, but it is able to scout the main, make sure there's no crazy tech coming. But the Zerg's going to feel completely comfortable just pumping drones and Hydras for a long time now. So I don't think we expect to see any kind of switches. We see a 6th hatch going down at the third base. We're going to have so much production coming out, and Royo is going to have the money to pay for it. Looks like a DT and a Corsair deny the 4th base for now, which is a good value, but the Corsair goes down to this massive wall of Hydras.
There's so many Hydras on the map right now. Also, funny thing to mention, if you look at the third gas, it's kind of messed up.
Oh no, it's blocked by the Evo.
Yeah, the Evo chamber is a little bit of a chore right
drones,
there.
Please.
He's probably gonna have to put like 4 or 5 drones in that one gas.
Yeah, sucks.
All right, but in the meantime, yeah, Shafir is gonna have to be very patient at home, trying to bide his time for the moment that he can actually try to move out across the map. There's just way too many Hydras right now for Royo to really go grab that third base, and especially with +1 attack upgrades done for Royo, it's gonna be so hard for Shafir to get a good attack out.
Yeah, and these Hydras here are going to come and try to lock down the natural, maybe pull off a contain. There's no lurkers yet, but just trying to have the Protoss army escape their own natural is really hard. If these Hydras set it properly, they could do huge damage before the Protoss can respond. Looks like they're just going to poke at the Forge now. +2 attack is on the way, but looks like oh my god.
Good storm.
Nice storm. Very nice storm. So Shafir's going to be safe for now. After that, so many Hydras are bruised up.
Yeah, but he can just switch out those bruised Hydras for these fresh ones that were just up there checking the third base, and he's just gonna have to try to waste as many storms as possible. One storm did go down, so we have to definitely keep track of how many storms that these Templar have left on them, especially if we see Royal try to go for some kind of big break. I don't think he is. As you said before, definitely just wants to power drone up and just continue teching up. He's got his hive on the way right now. Lurker aspect still not being started though. Interesting.
Yeah, it seems like he's decided not to do that. And maybe Shafir even knew that was a possibility, because again he's getting his goons and robo like way later than you would get normally. So maybe that's a follow up of this build. I mean, it makes sense if you delay gas that long, you're not going to have the huge amount of gas to make so many lurkers. But man, this is terrifying. There's 64 drones on a 4-base Zerg at 12 minutes. Like, and they're about to get high tech. This is absolutely horrifying.
Yeah,
and like the third base isn't even started yet.
He's starting his 8th hatchery right now. I mean, like, when you're a pros player in this situation, like, normally you should be at least like 30, maybe even 40 supply ahead, because you just want that army composition to kind of survive that mid game. But oh my, a 9th hatchery being started over there at that 4th base.
Oh my god. He's gonna use up all his control groups just on hatcheries at this point.
Seriously. Oh man. But right now, you know, he's just pulling back. He's just waiting for those hatcheries to kick in, and he's just gonna completely swarm against it. Nice job turning around right as he reaches the high ground. He's gonna pick up a couple of zealots, and now he's gonna have to retreat his army. Not retreat his army. He's leaving them there. Oh, I'm not so sure about this attack right here from Royo.
So Shafir getting an excellent trade there with those storms, killing all his hydras, and now this is still a very large Protoss force. If Royo doesn't get like perfect control here, he could, you know, he could get his army wiped out.
Yeah, this is a lot, and remember that because he's actually up 20 workers, you know, the supply count's actually really deceptive. He's actually more like up 50 supply in terms of army count right now.
We were just talking about how bad this was for Shafir, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna win the game, man. I don't care.
He is waiting for that crackling upgrade right now, and maybe Lynx can try to turn the tide of this game, but as it stands right now, big storm onto the drones, massive storm onto the drones. Okay, well there goes the drone lead. This is what happened? I think that. Did he just not macro properly? I mean, he's got a lot, like, you know, these hatcheries did have 3 larvae saved up on quite a few of them, but this is just turning out to be a completely one-sided affair right here. Finally, the Hydra reinforcements might be able to pick off all the rest of these goons. 2-1 just finished as well for his Hydras. Another big storm. Big storms raining on top of these Hydras. Another big storm. Zealot reinforcements. I think that Shafir's done this.
Yeah, wow. You know, we were talking about no lurkers. Wow, that's GG. That was a great push from Shafir.
How did that happen?
So we were talking about no lurkers, and it looks like Shafir knew that you know, you can't beat this massive ball of Protoss units with just one unit, right? Like, the lurkers give you so much more like permanence, so much more ability to like to hold ground. If we see like those 6 storms like that, the Hydras just melt. So you can't really go that pure Hydra build if you don't have like really sick storm dodging or like Templar sniping micro.
Yeah, that is definitely the biggest weakness of going pure Hydra, and
oh my god, I'm watching the replay on your stream. Those storms are just disgusting.
Just absolutely mauling those Hydras, and wow, what a fantastic game there from Shafir. You know, every Zerg player just feels like they've won the game already once they've got more drones than probes, but you know, Shafir really managed to take that fight really well, and I think that I definitely think that Royo needed to get those lurkers in there as well. You know, no observers with the army, or just have a lot earlier of a hive tech to get those cracklings up. All right. Anyways, we're going to be jumping into the 7th game of the day, I believe. It's going to be a PvP, our very first one. Shafir is the yellow Protoss spawning up here at the top right-hand position.
And we have Ash Space and the brown Protoss in the bottom left.
So what's the most standard build right now? Is it still 1 gate robo expand into a 2nd gateway, or is it gate robo gate into expand?
I see the 1 gate expand a lot, or the 1 gate robo expand a lot. I'm really struggling with like what build to pick in this matchup right now, so I'm hoping I can learn some things from these players. So in a 2-player map, there's always a risk of cheese. Doesn't look like either player is going to go for some kind of horror gates or anything yet. So beyond that phase of the game, this map, like we've been talking about, it does have a longer rush distance between the naturals, and it does have those high grounds that the defender can take advantage of. So I think we are going to see more economic builds like the 1 gate robo expand here. Shafir, I know he really likes this this 2 gate build. It's like you get like the 1021 build, where you delay your robo a bit, but you get like 1 or 2 goons more than they have when you push out. And there's a small potential to win the game, but mostly to do damage, like slow down their build and get a really good read off on what they're doing.
All right, so we'll see if he does end up going for that 2 gate style. And very quick gas here for Shafir, so looks like he's just going to want to go into goons as fast as possible. And same thing on the other side of the map here for space.
Probes meeting in the middle. You always feel really good when you meet their probe at about the middle of the map because it means they're doing the same thing as you. You don't have to worry about like proxy or anything.
Always a nice, comforting feeling.
Exactly.
And the first Zealots are coming out here for both players. Well, actually, Shafir is going to go for Core before Zealot.
Yeah, I feel like really confident here. It looks like he did that when he got in here and saw that it was a very standard build. Probably feels comfortable with the long rush distance that he doesn't have to worry about that Zealot getting in here.
And this probe here from space doing as much harassment as possible. We'll see if he tries to go for a mana pylon. He has got a beautiful mana pylon. Anti-mana pylon block there.
Yeah.
For Shafir, very nicely done.
Blocking, that's like, yeah, there's potential to block so many probes in that little nook there. So putting that pylon there is pretty nice.
And in the meantime, the Zealots are out now for both players. And it looks like the probe was killed, actually, for Space. Space managed to pick off the probe from Shafir. Shafir, no more scouting information. And Space will have that one probe advantage.
Yeah, that vision difference can be a big deal. You know, being able to see an expansion go down or being able to see what units move out down the ramp can absolutely decide a game of PvP. But both players playing very similar now, playing very standard. Yeah, here we go. There's that second gateway from Shafir, so he's going with his tried and true style. It's not unheard of, but it is rarer. So people don't always prepare for it. If Space keeps his units down at his natural here rather than up his ramp, there is a potential for Shafir to do big damage with that push when it comes out.
So how many goons will Shafir move out with?
It's usually like 4, I think. Like he'll get, yeah, it's 3 or 4, right? Yeah, it'll be 4 because this goon, he's gonna finish, and then he'll make a goon out of each gateway.
Okay, so it'll be a 4 goon push, and I think that there should be, what, 3 goons for Space?
Yeah, there'll be 2 or 3 for Space, depending on what he does here. Yeah, it'll be 3. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but with goons, it's a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he will have the high ground, so we'll see if that'll hold on for him. We do see that the Robos facility is now coming down here for Space. Interestingly enough, these Robos are not forward positioned like I see you and Lise do all the time in your PvPs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you just want to get that Reaver there as soon as possible. But like this isn't bad. It's not like a PvT Robo where you can put it like literally anywhere you want in your base. It's still pretty close to the ramp. Yeah. But I really like having that pylon right by the ramp, so if I get rushed, I can put a shield battery, or I can have the Reaver like spawn just in time to save a base.
That's also true. Space, wow, looking to go for a 3-gate Robo off one base here. So very, very safe, very passive build.
Yeah.
Here we go with Shafir's move out.
Yeah, so we do have that one extra goon here. Oh no, that goon from Space spawns just in time, so Shafir is going to be on equal footing here. And with that pylon taking some shots, I think he's ahead here. It looks like Space is retreating too much.
Oh, I'm not... Shafir trying to dive onto these goons here. Oh, yeah, wow, managed to pick off. I'm surprised. I thought he was down. He lost that initial goon.
Yeah. Very nice.
Oh my
here.
god.
Space doing nothing. Wow, I can't believe that. Yeah, he came in there with equal units on the attack, and now he has 3 goons to the 1 Zealot that survived. That's a huge difference.
And now the reinforcement 4-5. He could actually just push up here and end the game. Wow. Oh my god.
Alright, this is why that build's good, guys.
Shafir, your goo control is actually so sick.
What a god.
Oh, gee, just lose the game. Wow, incredible stuff here from Shafir. Just ran across the map. Wow, his tried and true style is apparently just that good.
Yeah. Really confident in his good micro to see equal numbers and go in there and attack, and it absolutely paid off.
Well, it's so crazy because he lost the first goon. So he was 3 versus 4 at one point.
Yeah. Much better focus fire. And dodging that a Zealot for so long. Yeah,
just incredible. All right, so Shafir looks like he ends the group at a score of, I think, 2-1, I want to say?
Yeah.
Or 3?
Everybody lost to what the Terran play from earlier.
Yeah. Ninjube. All right, so last one will be Space versus All-In. And let's get right into it. Last replay of the day. Looks like the time is a little past 3. We will have another stream right after this.
Yeah, I think they've started actually. There's another group of casters going on.
So we will go ahead and host them right after this.
All right. In the top right, the green Protoss getting a little bit wrecked last game, but still a very good player. We have Ash Space.
And down here at the bottom left, it's going to be All-In as the blue Zerg. All right, PvZ. Every Protoss's worst nightmare.
So we'll see if Space uses the same Gateway first build or goes back to the Tried and True Forge expand. One thing I liked before, at least, but like before Gateway expand got really popular, was on these 2-player maps. I'd like to go Forge expand because I feel like Forge expand can take better advantage of the early scouting info because there's so many like variations you can do about like when you put down a cannon versus when you put down the Nexus, and like how many cannons you put down. If you get the early scouting, you can just get the perfect response. So we'll see what's happening here. It looks like that is what Space is going to go for here. By having the probe leave the natural, it's almost certainly going to be a Forge expand here. And he might, like, it looks like he's like he might be hoping that he sees a hatch first, and he has, so he could go for the Nexus first here if he felt confident about it. And getting that is like such a huge lead for Protoss. But it looks like he's going to play it safe and go for the Forge, which is completely reasonable. It could set him up for cannon rushes. I feel like cannon rushes are really bad, but people like to go for them sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about cannon rushes in Brood War. I know the cannon rushes in StarCraft 2 are very popular and very good, but in StarCraft 1, I've always been a big proponent that I think cannon rushes are just terrible.
Yeah, I feel like once the Zerg knows how to like run drill and like or a mineral jump, like cannon rushes are just completely obsolete. Yeah, but I mean, we see pro players try to go for them, so they must be good sometimes.
Yeah, I missed the circuit breaker cannon rush. Whenever Zerg spawned in the top positions, you could always do the pylon cannon pylon right behind the extractor.
Oh god.
That was the only time I ever tried cannon rushing was when Zerg would spawn in the sun. Oh, losing that probe to the drone.
That probe, yeah. That's gonna hurt because you really want to see how many links come out. See the gas timing and all that good information. So you might even have to send a second probe out there just to see that.
Yeah, and I mean, especially we're seeing the gas not being put down right now. So it could be, again, that, kind of no gas 4-hatchery build that we've seen today.
Yeah, I feel like all these players got together and like agreed on what builds they're going to do because we've seen some very similar openings in all of these games.
It's really interesting. This wall off here from Space is also very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It's like instead of having 2 small gaps, you have like 1 medium-ish gap because the egg with the gateway is flush. There's a couple different ways you can wall on this position because the tile set's a bit weird.
Yep, that's for sure. All right, but yeah, 4th hatchery is down. No gas still yet for the Zerg, and there it is, first gas. So
yeah, here he is. Yeah, 4 hatcheries before gas. What is what is going on with this group?
It's very interesting. I guess they really wanted to experiment with these unique and kind of innovative builds, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just super, super, super old school style. Like this stuff was back in Kespa era where people were thinking about designing these builds, and now we're seeing it in 2020, almost 2021.
Yeah, I think it's something that's amazing about having a game that's as old and like as like storied as Brood War. It's like there is the meta, and like there's a reason that we don't use the old builds anymore, but like they're only like 5% weaker than meta builds, right? Like they're still really strong. Like there's a reason that pro players use them for like years and years. So it's you can always bring out these old builds, and just the fact that the players aren't going to be as used to playing against them is going to make them really powerful. Yeah,
I mean, I know that if I'm a Protoss player and I see this build, I'm like, what do I do in this situation?
Yeah, like that's so many hatcheries. What do I do? Like, so that's just one of the really cool things about Brood War.
And just the adaptation, the build could also just get popular again because that's just the style that is best for the current meta.
Yeah.
and to speak on that for like Terran versus Zerg, right? Like we used to do these really fast +1 timings with Terran. Now we go back to 2 Racks Academy, and now we're seeing the fast +1 come back even against 2 Hatch meta. So the adaptation is just incredible to see in a game this old. People always think, oh, it's a 20-year-old game, people got to figure it out. I'm like, no, it's not really the case.
Yeah, and that doesn't even like count like maps, like throwing in different maps and all that. There's so much depth to this game. Like I can't imagine like being a real pro and like having memorized the build orders for like hundreds of builds and like knowing the counters at like every point. Like, oh, if I'm doing this build at in 3 minutes, I need to check this to decide when to build my next building. Like they have that memorized for like so many different builds.
Yeah, it's incredible, and just also being able to talk about it while playing is also pretty insane. Like I was watching your Gypsy stream yesterday, and he was talking the whole time while playing. I'm like, how do you do this? Like I would forget like all of my supply depots, when that stuff was happening. It's incredible.
Yeah, so we have a much faster archives this game than Shafir was going for. So kind of what you were expecting, where getting the archives before putting on these gates. So it can make your like speed zealot push weaker, but it does lead you getting those Templar earlier. So it makes the next push, the push at like 9 to 12 minutes, that much more powerful.
Yeah, and we do see the first Corsair coming out here, not even going for the main, just going to go straight for this Overlord. It is kind of funny because, there's no real point in seeing it once you see the 4-hatch before gas. Like, you kind of expect or know what the Zerg is going for. You don't really need to check for mutas because mutas are going to be so late.
Yeah, normally it's a risk to not fly by that, but if you know that they don't have Spire, yeah, you can just kill it. It's a small little optimization you can make as a Protoss player.
Man, these hatcheries all over the place right now. 6 hatcheries total for the Zerg player, as you said. These hatcheries is getting up in number, and we'll see if Allen is going to go for that mass drone style that we saw him do last time. Or no, not him. Royal did last time. But he's sitting at a much more normal 33 drone count.
Yeah, not going quite as wild with the economy here. And the SimCity isn't quite as powerful at the third base. He does have more Hydras and less Sunkens. We'll see if Space can get something done here. I hope he doesn't totally lose all of his Zealots like Shafir did.
Yeah, I mean, again, that one ramp area is hard to push up, but he's going to see the Hydras. He's going to say, okay, probably should pull back a little bit. And it is hard trying to attack in these bases when, obviously modern day is very much more aggressive Zerg style, getting more Hydras than Sunken colonies. And it is scary. If you try to go up that ramp, you kind of get trapped in because the reinforcement Hydras are just going to surround you.
Yeah, but Space handling this much better than Shafir did. I think, he's not losing his Zealots. He's getting a bigger probe count, and he's taking a very, very quick third. Let's see if he can hold it down. Now that I look at it, this is a lot of Zerg units. I'm not sure if Space can fight this. Oh, here we go. So we do have some early Templar and early Dark Templar. So with some good storms here, he might be able to save his third base.
All right, first couple storms. First one was bad. Second one was okay.
Is it enough? I'm not sure. It's going to come down to micro here.
Well, no Overlord, actually. This DT...
Yeah.
I was going to say, so I think he's going to hold off, especially with this one Corsair. Maybe he can pick off this last Overlord over here to hide the DT for a little bit longer. But this is such a greedy and early third base. I mean, he does have quite a few cannons already at the top of the ramp, but this is a very interesting style here from Space to try to really power out that economy. And pushing back this force, like even if he were to lose all of these Zealots, he would still be able to hold the top of the ramp because of how many cannons are up there.
Yeah, but it's all working together like so well. It kind of makes me think maybe this is how you're supposed to deal with this 4-hatch play. Because it kind of blows my mind that you could delay units and get a fast third base, so be able to do that. But getting those fast storms and that fast DT really helped him save the space.
Corsair does go down, unfortunately, but Corsair's done his job, picked off like 2 to 3 Overlords there, got all the scouting information it needed, and yeah, we're seeing the probes transfer now. Their base is very, very fast. The Zerg is getting his 4th base now up to 44 drones, so he's starting to get into that really comfortable macro position. He also has a very fast Queen's Nest, 945 high.
Yeah, wow.
Very fast. And again, that's what happened last game with the Royal. He went for fast time as well, skipping lurkers. But we'll see if all in here is going to skip lurkers. No, he is not. He has gotten his.
Yeah, we saw a few lurkers, and that was what lost Royal the game, I think. So a nice move here from all in, especially with like there's so many zealots. I think we saw a round of goons, but it's a very zealot heavy army, so lurkers would absolutely shred it if they decided to commit to somewhere.
Yeah, slightly later Dragoon production started here for Space. Went for an extra round of Zealots, I suppose. But he will have those Dragoons out. They do need to end up killing, I think, the egg up there to let the Goons out. And in the meantime, he does have Observers. He's getting that 2-1 upgrade here for the Protoss units. So he's going to be in a pretty comfortable position, whereas Zerg is also going to be feeling very comfortable. We're going to go into probably settling for a long macro game.
Yeah, it seems like both players have done builds that are going to lean into that. So we're gonna see how that works. This fast hive is really scaring me. Space is gonna have to deal with that. Just the regular like gateway army has a real hard time dealing with hive units.
Yep, we're gonna see what the tech choice is gonna be here for hive, and it looks like that it hasn't made a choice just yet. I'm waiting for the crackling upgrade, or if he goes straight into a defiler round.
Seems like he might be panicking dealing with this huge push of Protoss army coming out. We do have some lurkers. There are some goons here to deal with it, but it is mostly zealots.
Oh, flank here with the lurkers here. The zealots are right on top of the lurkers, but
big
we're
storm,
going to see the splash damage here. Will it be enough? Will the lurkers have enough damage here to deal with these zealots? And it looks like the answer is no. Space is just crushing through this army.
The observer does go down, but there's only a small group of lurkers left, and one gets stormed. I don't know if there's enough Protoss left to really take a base before the reinforcements come back, though.
Oh, big remacro here from the Zerg. I think this will clear up the last bit of army.
The goons needed to be focusing on the lurkers more. They were fighting the Lings and Hydras, and that gave the lurkers enough time to chew through all the zealots. So not game over for Space yet, but wow, he's taking a fast fourth base too. This is like a PvT. He's like taking more and more bases. He's going to need to get all reinforcements headed there as soon as possible, though, because all these Zerg units that respond to defend Zerg are now just going to run right into space right before all these cannons finish.
Yeah, cannons only halfway done, and as we know, they take forever to build.
God, they're so slow.
Here we go. Will this be enough? Lings now coming in here, going to attack the goons. These Lings are going to do a great job of holding back the reinforcements. The Hydras are trying to run around, pick off the goons, but the Zealots are getting right on top of them. And this might actually be a hold here from Space. And the first couple cannons are coming up. Nice storm there on the Hydras.
Right, yeah, buying enough time for these cannons to get up. Cannons are kind of like in the wrong arc, I think. I think we should be on the other side of the Nexus to help defend, but it's good enough for now. And he just keeps his fourth base alive. And a Protoss getting a fourth base at 13 minutes, like, you will feel good no matter what else is going on the rest of the game. So Space is doing a really good job, like, barely by the skin of his teeth, getting these bases up. Yeah,
definitely want to see a little bit more macro coming out here from All-In. He's got quite a bit of larva here at his third base not being utilized. I would like to see, either a round of drones or a round of Lings, because he does have Crackling upgrade finally. He is getting that the triple evolution chamber upgrades at Hive Tech, going for those massive upgrades on those Lings. And, yeah, Space has got that fourth base up really fast and early. We're just going to see, will he go into those massive Archons like we saw Shafir go for, or is he going to stick to a more traditional just Gateway Man Zealot Dragoon style?
Yeah, at some point you need tech to catch up with your numbers, but when you get 4 bases with gas, you can build whatever tech you want. We do see some Archons coming out. I don't see extra Robos or a support bay coming up. I think in this last season of ASL, we saw Protoss players try to skip the Reaver. They had a lot of troubles with it, but I can see why people want to, because they take up so much food, so much money, and they just sit at your base, so it's not really ideal. We'll see how it works out. I don't like this attack at all. There's so many lurkers and static D here, and the Zealots are just getting shredded.
Big storms, though. Really nice storms here.
I just don't think it's enough. I think there's too much depth here from the Zerg defense.
Yeah, the Storms are doing a really good job of shredding down these Lings, but there's just not enough Protoss units left here, actually. Like, already the Zealots all got chewed up by the Lurkers, as you said before, and now the Reinforcement Cracklings are just going to absolutely shred through the rest of this army. So, Space kind of donating a little bit of units here, and only managed to really pick off Lings and a couple of mineral defensive structures, so not the best use of his army there.
Yeah, I don't. And the attack seemed like completely unnecessary. Oh my god, there's a 5th base going down. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
But like, you don't need to commit your whole army to attack when you're up on bases as Protoss, right? Like you're completely fine in that position. That is, a stick. Okay, no, he's putting a pylon here to block at the top left. I was like, dude, stop.
Well, these lings will manage to force the cancel here on that 5th base, so we'll be able to secure that, or not secure, but hold off that base for now. But I think that, yeah, Space just needs to really macro up a bigger army and then go for a little bit smarter of an engagement here. You know, he is starting to get those Archons up in numbers, but I really don't need to see him, I guess, take the Shafir route, because we definitely see that Allen is going for that ling-heavy style.
Yeah, it seems like he will be able to deny this base, and like this is the kind of fight that you want to take. You want to deny bases rather than throw a bunch of units away.
A lot of Zerg units across the map right now.
Oh no!
We're gonna see how well this army is relatively small. There are some storms here on these Templar. He needs to
storm
the ramp. There it is.
Baby,
Great storms.
go.
Big storms there. It's gonna hold off the army, and he's gonna be able to secure this low ground area for now. Meanwhile, a couple of links trying to go after these cannons. You kind of need swarm, sorry, for those cannons with those cracklings.
Yeah. And that's why you need Reavers. We'll see what he's going to do here. He's completely blocked in the Robo in his main, so no Reavers are ever going to come out of that one. It really looks like he's just decided not to go for Reavers. So trying to keep his army mobile. And I can see the benefits of that, but I've also seen Zergs, kill bases in like 8 seconds. So we'll see how that works out in the end.
Yeah, it is an interesting choice here from Protoss. Like you said, it's very standard just to get one Robo at all of your really far bases, to build a couple of Reavers there just to defend. You don't need to use them for an attack. But he's decided to forego it, and we'll see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, it looks like this base is. There's no lurkers set up. It looks like he's trying to bring in these reinforcements. Will they get here before the Protoss army gets on top of everything? We have some more huge storms.
Where's the storm?
That huge couple lurkers. There we go.
Oh, the storm's all over everything.
But killing all the lurkers here. Protoss army doing way better this time. Can we get some more storms on these lurkers? I think they're out of energy. Yeah. So he's out of energy. Not enough Archons to really man mode through the Darkswarm, but he can just ignore the lurkers and wipe out the hatchery at least.
Yeah, this hatchery will go down to these Dragoons, and this is a big blow to Zerg here. Zerg's back down to 3 bases. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to go through. And now the Archons, 5 Archons total, now they'll be able to man mode right through this Darkstorm.
Exactly. Splash damage is a good unit.
Yes,
you clean out these lurkers. Yeah, and now, so Protoss took some bad fights, but now they're 100 supply up. That's what happens when you expand 4 times.
Yeah, his
they can just completely run away here. Yeah. Look at all these units stuck in the main. This tiny little ramp is so hard.
Jadong-esque right here.
Oh my god.
I think his rally points actually go out to the top of the ramp. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I've never seen someone rally their army to the top of the ramp.
Yeah, I think some of these gateways are misrallied. Because like some of them are going down the ramp. I don't know what's going on. But he is getting it worked out. Getting a massive army worked out. We formed up and marching across the map. Going to put more pressure on the Zerg as he tries to re-expand.
This might be the game-ending push. There's so many links here with so many Archons. It's just not a good army composition here. A good plague, but unfortunately, I don't think it's enough. I mean, these Archons in the front here just melting through these links. I mean, the +3 armor, the +3 attack has finished, and I think that this will be it here. This will be the last stand for Allen, and Space is going to take this game. Well done.
There we go. Excellent play here. What a good group. That was the last game, right?
Yes, that was the last
game.
game.
What a sick group. Every game was really good.
Yeah, really happy with how that group turned out. Really well done to all these players. I think the game quality was incredibly high. Obviously, big shout outs to Ninjube, the winner of this group, sweeping with a 4-0 scoreline.
Yeah, and like we saw, like all these players are good. Like so, just to sweep this group, is really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let me go ahead and take a look at Discord real quick. Let me see which stream I need to throw the host over to. This is Cause.
This is Cause.
All right.
Cozy or however it's, yeah.
So go ahead and raid the channel. There we go. All right. So anyways, thank you all for watching this cast. My name is Flash for the Win.
I'm Cold Warpgates.
And we'll see you guys on the next stream. So I'll go ahead and raid this cause, and hope you guys have fun over there.